What's up, everyone? I'll give a chance for this live call to get rolling, for the feed to go through. I know sometimes it takes people a little bit to get logged on. So while you are waiting, it would be good if everyone threw in the chat where you are coming to us from today. I always like to hear that. So we should have Facebook Live going and YouTube Live going. So whichever platform you prefer. Some people aren't Facebook users too much. I don't really get on Facebook a ton, but YouTube is there for everyone if that's more of your speed. So throw in the chat, let us know where you're from, and we'll give just a minute or two for the rest of the folks to jump in the chat or to jump in the live call here, and then I'll get started. Wow, we got a lot of them coming through. All right, let's see if I can find the one that's farthest away. Oregon, that's pretty far. I'm in Florida. So we got Oregon, Montana, Missouri, California, Montreal, Bellingham, Washington. That might be as far as you could possibly get. Literally the top corner of the country. Vermont, Myrtle Beach, Ottawa, Canada, also pretty far. Vermont. All right. I used to live in New Hampshire, so that's pretty close. Pennsylvania, Houston, Louisiana. All right. We'll give it another couple minutes here. Got Rockville. Oops, that's Colorado. I meant to click Rockville, Maryland. What's up, Scott? I used to live in DC too. It's pretty close to Rockville. New Jersey, Vancouver. That I think is farther than Bellingham, Washington. So, or unless this is Vancouver, isn't there like a Vancouver in Oregon? That might not be as far away. All right, we'll let it keep rolling in here. So thank you all for joining tonight. I haven't done a live stream in what feels like a little while, but I don't know how long ago it was. I think we did one for the roofing when we were talking about roofing, but I haven't done one on the general drone business, I think, since around Thanksgiving time. So a lot of people enjoy hearing about how to start a drone business from scratch. So if you don't know me, my name is I'm pointing the wrong way. Here in the video stream, David Young. I'm the founder of Drone Launch Academy. Let me give you a little bit of background about me. Again, since you all are the early ones here, I won't belabor this too hard. But I am from Florida here, but I've lived in DC for a while. And I went to school originally my freshman year of college. I wanted to go to flight school. Oh, by the way, don't mind the cleaning crew here in our co-working space. But I wanted to be a commercial pilot like my whole life. I thought that was super cool. I went to flight school my first year of undergraduate in college and started flying planes, only to realize that was very stressful for me. I don't know why. Didn't love flying small planes. Always thought I was going to crash and burn and die. So I was like, maybe I'll do something else. So I switched up, did accounting, got my CPA license shortly after graduating college. Did accounting nice and safe on the ground, not a lot of crashing going on with accounting. And I ended up working for the FBI out of college for about 8 years, actually, and did a wide variety of things from like budgeting payroll budgets, which sounds super sexy and fun. And then I did more cool stuff like forensic accounting and Ponzi schemes and stuff like that. But one of the guys I was working with at the FBI was a former Army special operations guy. And he and I would talk, and he started talking about drones and started talking about, at the time, you needed a pilot's license to fly drones commercially. And so that's when I started looking into it and got into about 2015. Then the Part 107 stuff came out in 2016, and I got my FAA instructor certificate. So I'm a licensed FAA advanced ground instructor, whatever that means. And it basically just means I can endorse you to take a private pilot test or, instrument rating if you wanted to take those tests, not the flight part, but the exam, FAA exam part. So I got that, and we started while I was still at the FBI, started a Part 107 test prep course, kind of just on the side, just, see how it would go. And we did that like right after the Part 107 test came out. So we were one of the earlier ones to do that. And it kind of up and down, trying to figure out how to do business and what people wanted and how to do online courses. But eventually that grew really big, and it got big enough to where, I quit my job and focused on Drone Launch Academy full time. And we started adding other courses because people would get their Part 107 license, and then they'd be like, all right, well, what do I do now? Or what do I need to know to get to the next steps? And so over the last 4 years that the company's been around, we've just been trying to figure out, cool, who follows us? What do they want to know? How can we help teach it to them and get them to where they want to be? So that's basically what we center all of our stuff around. And that's one of the reasons we started this podcast that you guys might be familiar with, Drone to 1K. We can talk about that in a little bit more. I'll tell you a little bit about it now. Is anybody familiar with the Drone to 1K podcast? If so, let me throw that in the chat, as I'm curious to hear who here listens to the podcast. But essentially, I'm trying out this software I have here. So this is it, cover up my ugly face. So this is a podcast. It's called the Drone to 1K podcast. We got a lot of good ratings here. We got, average of 5 stars, 171 ratings. So I really appreciate everybody that gives us some cool ratings on that and shows us some love. But essentially on that, what we do, I guess I cut off the description here in my little screenshot. But essentially what we do is we find people, I'm going to move this. There we go. We find people who have drone businesses and who are what I consider at least moderately successful. So you're making at least $1,000 a month with your drone or more. So we have people that are really just over the threshold at $1,000 a month. And we've had people on the podcast who are making $200,000-$300,000 a month. Now those are full-time people in their drone business who have really been crushing it. So a wide spectrum. And I wanted that because I wanted it to be relatable to a wide group of people. So if you really like your day job and you just want to do drones on the side, and you hear someone who's doing crazy engineering stuff with AI and drones full time, you're like, well, that's cool, but that's not really resonating with me because I'm not going to do that. So we wanted to give a wide spectrum of, hey, even if you're working a full-time job, you just want some side cash, you can do that. Or you can go all the way up to, if you want to go full-time with it, here's some people that are doing that too. Sorry, not a month, $200,000 to $300,000 a year. So I guess that would be like 20 to 28,000 or something a month. Sorry. Actually $30,000 a month. Sorry, I didn't mean to be misleading. Here we go. So $1,000 a month or $200,000 to $300,000 annually. But again, those are people who are going at it full time. All right, I'm reviewing some of the comments here. Some people say on season 2, and a lot of people are saying listen to them all. This is great. So happy to awesome. Happy to hear that you guys are digging into the podcast. We're actually midway through season 4 recording wise. So as soon as we get those done, we'll start releasing that. We have some bonus episodes that we're going to release about people. We do these coaching calls between the podcast guests and certain listeners that won little Q&A coaching sessions. So we'll be releasing those shortly. But anyway, so we have the Drone 1K podcast, and we interviewed a lot of successful drone companies and people who are doing drone business because we wanted to bring that information to people who are looking to do this, right? So through that, we've learned a lot. Me and my team have learned, what it is that makes certain drone businesses successful, and the ones that kind of struggle and don't really get off the ground. We talk to a lot of people through emails and support. We can kind of see what their struggles are, and we've talked to thousands of people. I mean, we have over 20,000 students that have been through our courses, tens and tens and tens of thousands of people on our email list that email in all the time. So we've just learned a lot about what it takes to succeed with the drone business and what's going to fail. So on this training, hopefully I'll break it down for you. We're going to have 5 secrets. I mean, they're just points that we've come up with that, hey, here's what the successful people who are really successful with their drone business, here's what they're doing. And then we're going to walk through a framework of what a profitable drone business looks like. So some steps you can take. All right, step 1, focus on this. Step 2, focus on this. So hopefully that's helpful for you in understanding that, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right. But first, I want to hear a little bit more from you all in our audience here. So how many of you, I guess, number 1, already have a drone business, or you don't have a drone business and you're wanting to start a drone business? Or I guess maybe number 3 is you don't care at all and you don't want to do a drone business. And I don't know why you're here. Maybe you're just here to, make fun of people in the chat. I don't know. But put in the comments, either I already have a drone business, I don't have a drone business, but I want to start one, or I don't know, explain yourself in some other way. And while you're doing that, and also include, are you wanting to keep it part-time, or are you eventually wanting to take it full-time? Either one's fine, but I'm just curious to hear how many of you are all wanting to go full-time or part-time. All right. So while that's rolling in, I just wanted to talk real quick. So if you're here, I'm guessing you're, one of those people who is excited about the drone industry, and you're like, man, I heard the drone industry is growing. You want to be a part of it. Again, I know a lot of you listen to the Drone to 1K podcast, so maybe you get pumped up listening to people like Dominic Wilkerson, who does real estate stuff. He's a 6-figure drone business owner. Jeremiah Oshwald, another 6-figure guy. He does specifically real estate video. Cody Retlick, he does more on the inspection side, so working with retail business, like retail shopping centers, and does cell tower inspections, things like that. Also, Root Patel, who's a recent podcast guest. He's one of the guys who's at that 300K mark. He does a lot of like energy sector inspections. And we actually have another guy coming on season 4 who does thermal. He's a thermographer, and he does well over 6 figures doing that. So I'm excited to bring you that. We also have, like I said, we also have people who are doing, part-time stuff. We're in the, the lower end of the income spectrum too, if they're focusing on different industries or maybe just not going at it full-time. So hopefully those people inspire you when you hear that. And it makes you feel like, hey, listen, if those people can do it, I can do it too, right? We even have someone on there who was a high school student making 5 figures with their drone while they're in high school, right? So it just shows you it can be done, right? So I always like seeing that when it's in business and somebody else has done it. I think, okay, it can be done. So how can it be done, and who they're doing it so it can be done? So how am I going to do that too, right? So you learn those lessons from those people. So let me look here. We got just starting out, wants to start one as a side business, starting one up. Someone has one. Let's see here. Someone says got one, working on it. They want to start a drone business. A lot of wanting to start a drone business. People want to go full time. Somebody uses a drone for work and they want to own their own business. Got a thinking of one. So people want to. Here we go. So like a video production business. Have one now, just getting started. Cool. Part-time, wants to do full-time. Totally new, just finishing up Drones 101. All right, looking for a vertical. I like that. We'll talk about that. Don't have one. Wants to start one, mostly full-time. All right, Mary. Awesome. So I just wanted to get a kind of a broad spectrum, right? So if you have a drone business, one thing I want to talk about. So before I talked about what it takes to start a drone business and make it profitable. But what I've realized is a lot of people who have started drone businesses already, and they're just struggling to make it work. They can't really figure out how to crack that code to get the drone business to work. So I'm going to do my best to maybe diagnose some of the issues and help you figure out, hey, what is it that I'm doing or not doing in my drone business that maybe some of these other people are doing, that it's working for them, it's not working for me, right? Where's the disconnect? So I hopefully will get to those issues in the 5 secrets we're going to talk about here, right? But a lot of times it's, if you can't make it work, maybe you thought, I just got to get my Part 107 license and all the clients are going to come flocking to me, right? I know that's it's a misconception with a lot of people, right? That's like saying, I thought all I had to do is get my CPA license and people are just going to start calling me for bookkeeping and tax and accounting work, right? It doesn't work like that. So yes, there is demand in the drone industry for the people with the right drone skills, industry skills, and business skills, but you have to actually go out and take action on that stuff. So we'll dive into that more in a minute, right? So maybe you just had a little bit of a mindset misconception. And maybe there's a lot of you that say, hey, listen, I just struggle for time. I don't have time to do this. It's time. It takes time to do this. It takes time, right? And I get it, and I understand that. And so sometimes you just have to figure out what you can do and really focus in and focus on one area, one niche. And again, we'll get to that in one of our points, right? So, all right. So are you guys ready to dive into the secrets of drone business here? I hate it. I kind of hate it when people are like, I'm going to tell you the secret, and they sound all like marketing brouhaha. These aren't really secrets. You can call these 5 lessons learned, if you will. Um, cool. Make sure to smash the like button. No, I don't care about that. You can if you want to, but I don't care. That is an awesome picture too, by the way. Okay. Pricing structure. We can talk about some of this stuff. All right, Doug wants to start a drone business after 7 years of hobby flying. All right, well, hopefully this helps. I'll leave some time for Q&A at the end as well, so that you can get your actual questions, specific questions answered. Also have some questions that people had been sending in. I sent out a questionnaire earlier today, so thank you to everyone who filled that out. When I start the Q&A time, I'll go to these questions that I've got. All right, so secret number one. Oh man, I forgot I was supposed to be putting up these banners the whole time. There we go. That was what I was going to put at the beginning. Then I was going to do this when I was asking people about, what their business was. All right. So here, we're going to get to secret number one. And if you've been on one of these trainings before, you might have heard some of these, but I switched some of them up, and I'll be talking about them in a little bit differently today too. All right. So secret number one, I don't know if you want to write it down. I think this replay will be available tomorrow for the most part. But I don't know about after that. So you may want to write this down if you don't plan on watching the replay. But secret number one, these client sources will not make you rich. You may know what I'm talking about. I'll just go ahead and give it away at the beginning, but I'm talking about drone job networks. Now, drone job networks, if you don't know what they are, I'm not going to go like name names because not all of them are the same. So some of them are better than others, but a lot of times the problem with a drone job network is that they strip a lot of the, I don't want to say strip a lot of that. They remove a lot of the value that comes from being a drone pilot, right? So when you're going to do a job for a client, right? Anytime you're doing anything in business, you are solving a problem for someone, right? And you have a relationship with someone and they are paying you to solve their problem in a nutshell. So if you're a real estate agent and you're hiring a drone pilot and a photographer to take pictures, aerial video, all this stuff of your house, you have a problem of people knowing about your listing and potential clients knowing about you as a realtor so that they have you to list their home with them. That's a big reason why people do that, right? So you're getting more awareness, more marketing for yourself, attracting clients, attracting buyers. That's the problem that you're solving, right? And the product that you create for them is the method by which you solve that problem. Well, there's a lot of value in that relationship with that, let's say, real estate agent. Just as I'm using that as an example because a lot of people can relate to that and understand that. Because now that real estate agent, they like your work, they trust you, and who are they going to call next time they need that? They're going to call you. So that's a source of ongoing work for you. So a lot of these drone job aggregators, they own the client relationship, which takes a lot of the value away from you, right? And the drone job network takes on the responsibility of solving the problem for their clients. So the clients are their clients, and they're just hiring you as a subcontractor to go out and capture the data and send it back to them so that they can edit it or do whatever and deliver to the client. Say, hey, here, client, we solved your problem, right? The client doesn't really care about you as the drone pilot or you as the problem solver. Now it's just their work with the drone or with the drone job network. So it takes that client side away from it. And the problem is the drone job network also doesn't pay you very much as a drone pilot, again, because of this equation. Because in order to solve that problem for the client, whether it's doing cell tower inspections for them, inspecting roofs, getting photos for a real estate job, whatever it is, you just become the data collector. And then they're going to have someone else on their team process the data or edit the video or do some of this other work. And they're going to have their business development people go out and find the contracts and find the work. And they're going to have their marketing people run the ads. And they're going to have their admin people make sure all the legal stuff is tied up. So all these other pieces of the business that you have to have running just to have any business, they're doing, which can be nice, especially if you're new and you're just wanting practice, right? That's why I don't say they're not bad, but they just have their place, right? So if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to be a drone pilot and I'm going to go get on these job site aggregators, drone job networks, and I'm going to make a bunch of money," that's not really how that works. I don't know any what I would consider successful drone business owners who rely on drone job networks. Now, if you're just like, "Hey, I'm brand new and I need practice," might as well get paid to do something, right? Especially if you have no contacts, no clients, no nothing, right? So it can be good at first to practice with, or do things like that, but it's not going to give you a sustainable business at all. All right. There's other things that you need to focus on and things that you need to build in order to do that. Also, another downside is you don't have any control over client communication. So I've shared these stories before, but let me give you a quick one. I'm just going to push this button so my camera doesn't shut off. All right. So somebody that I know from the drone launch community has given me some stories about one time they went out to film. They got a job from a drone job network, and it says, all right, cool, go to this address, take 10 pictures of this. I think it was a gas station, of this gas station, and send the pictures and photos back, upload them on the platform. And that was all he had to do. And I think they were paying him like $40 or $50. Again, if you're just practicing, pretty good, to practice. But again, you're not going to quit your job on $50 for taking photos. So he's out there taking pictures, and all of a sudden somebody pops out of the store, runs up to him and starts screaming at him and yelling at him, saying, yeah, you got to get out of here and blah, blah, blah. And this woman comes up, she starts punching him, and he's trying to fly the drone. He's like, this woman's literally hitting me, trying to fly my drone. They're screaming at me. So anyways, he de-escalated the situation, got the drone back and got out of there. And he's like, I'm never doing a job for that drone job site again, because you don't control client communication. He's not able to talk to that end client. He's not able to say, hey, even just coordinate, right? More or less, or even have any trust with them developed whatsoever. I don't even know if that drone job network, I don't know what happened there, but that could have all been prevented if that was one of his clients from his business and he, had good communication, all of that other stuff. So, you just sometimes deal with that kind of riffraff, and it's not that fun, right? So that's a big part of it. And then one of the most valuable pieces of doing any drone job is not necessarily the drone flying, because anybody with a Part 107 license and a little bit of practice can get up there and take some photos. Now, there's other skill involved with knowing the settings, or especially if you're doing cinematography, knowing how to get the right shot. So there is skill in that, but just flying the drone and saying, hey, I need 10 pictures from these angles, really, anybody can do it. Okay, so he's on here. He sold himself out. If you look RE Drone SC on YouTube, that's Robert Nix. That was his story. I didn't want to call you out, Robert, because I didn't get your explicit permission to share that. But yeah, that's Robert. If you want to talk to him about his experience getting punched. But anyways, I kind of lost my train of thought with Robert. Oh yeah, so post-processing or getting that data is one of the most valuable pieces, right? Because it's not just capturing the data. Remember, we're solving a problem for the client. So if just taking some pictures is solving that problem, then that's probably a lower value thing that someone's going to pay us for. But if we're going to capture that video or those pictures, and then we're going to turn it into a really awesome cinematic video that gets shared a lot, or we're going to take a map of a construction site and we're going to show a construction company how they can load that into their building information modeling system to overlay that against their building plans so they can see, oh, hey, this wall is 3 centimeters off. Wow, you just became a lot more valuable, right? So the processing and the education piece is what makes you valuable. And the job aggregator sites, a lot of them, again, not all of them, take that away from you, right? So I just want to say that out there. A lot of people come to me saying, oh, David, I'm just going to sign up with your job aggregator sites. I would just say, go for it, especially at the beginning, but just be aware that this is not your long-term solution for drone business success. That's all I got to say on that. So if anybody else has any fun stories about drone jobs they've done for job aggregator sites, feel free to throw that in the chat so we can all have a good laugh about it, especially how we're now laughing at Robert's expense. Okay, next, secret number 2, become an attractor. Okay, and what do I mean by that? I didn't say become attractive. I know that's not a possibility for everyone in this chat. I'm just kidding. All right, but become an attractor. What I mean is attract people to you. So we'll talk about digital visibility and being top of mind. Some people say, David, I like doing drones, but I really hate selling. I don't want to feel pushy. I don't like getting out there and marketing. It helps if you can push through some of that and learn how to market yourself in a non-sleazy way. But it is possible to be successful with your drone business without having to get out there in people's face and do a lot of in-person networking, right? Again, I think it's helpful. It's kind of a double-edged, it's kind of like a two-pronged attack if you can do both. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But one of the keys I've found, everybody that I talked to on the podcast, they say, well, people started finding me. And how do they start finding you, right? So you want to become an attractor, right? So there's a lot of people out there who who need what you have to offer, whether it's mapping, whether it's just taking pictures and video for a commercial they're shooting for their company, or some pictures for their website, or whatever it is, right? You want to become an attractor. So when they are looking for that, you come up, right? Actually, this is not in my notes, but a drone to 1K student who's really good at this, who will be on season 4 of the podcast, is Kevin Olson, Maryland drone guy on Instagram. You should go follow him if you don't. He is so good about consistently posting what he's doing on Instagram and posting his photos and video. He's like, I've never asked for business in my life, and people keep coming to him to say, oh, can you do this job? Oh, I love that picture. Can I buy these prints? Can you do this? And he keeps getting more and more and more business and has never asked for a thing. Well, those lights just went out, so I'm here all alone now. He's never sold anything, like tried to sell anything, and people are coming to him because he knows how to use that platform to become an attractor. Another course instructor, Alex Harris, maybe some of you have taken his courses. And, he talks about, he's out, he shoots video. He knows how to put them in the right places to where people find him and want to license that footage. So he's had big movie studios, different people coming for conferences, wanting to license his footage, and they pay him hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds or thousands of dollars for that footage. Chris D'Antonio, again, from the podcast Philly Drone Shots, he had Comcast find his stuff because he was good at being findable and say, hey, we need this for some commercial stuff we're doing. Can we buy from you? And he paid top dollar. Same thing with NFL Films, got him to do stuff. And again, he wasn't out prospecting for these clients. They found him because he was findable and was an attractor. So how do you be an attractor, right? I say be findable is what I like to say, and be business ready, all right? So be business ready. That's the digital visibility. And then you want to be top of mind. It's kind of, again, becomes with the digital visibility, right? You are, when that person needs that thing, that service, that map, that photo, that video, whatever it is, you need to be the one that goes, oh yeah, that's right, David can do that. And you need to become what I like to say, the drone guy or the drone girl in your area. They'll say, oh yeah, who's that drone guy? Oh yeah, that's right, David. I spend the majority of my time running Drone Launch Academy, but I'm just known in my area for being a drone guy. So I frequently get approached, oh, hey, David, can you shoot this video for us? Can you do this? And a lot of times I'm farming it out to people who are doing drone service businesses as their full-time work. But since I'm just known as the drone guy around me, I just get requests that way, right? So again, I want to tell you why being findable is important. There's a thing called a buying cycle. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. If you've been in sales, you might know about it, right? But it's like a pyramid. So it's like, hey, here's the universe of your potential customers, right? And at the top of the pyramid are people who need what you have to offer and are looking for you and will buy right now if they know about your offer, right? So that's a small percentage, right? And then 7% of the people, they have a need, but they're not actively searching for you, where if you went to them and told them about what you do, they would buy from you. So that's kind of like 10% of the people where they're either actively searching or are willing to buy right now, right? Then there's 30% of the people, kind of middle of the pyramid, who they have a need, but the pain is not deep enough to where they're going to act at this moment. So even if you came to them and said, hey, here's what I have to offer, it's not that they're like, I don't want that. It's just like, I don't feel that burning need right now. It's like, I don't have that problem or whatever, right? So they have a need, but it's not quite bad enough to act. Then there's another 30% who don't have a need now, but at some point will have the need. So it's kind of like they do have the need, but it's not super painful here as they don't have a need, but they might at some point. And then there's a 30% of people where they're just like, just by default, just won't ever do business with you. Either they're super cheap or they're just crusty, mean people and they don't want to do business with anybody. There's 3. So you really have this pyramid you need to think about. And the problem is people get so discouraged so quickly because think about the pyramid. So if you're 100 people, you're only going to have 10 that are going to say yes if you talk to them. Maybe really maybe 3, maybe 10. But they'll go cold call 4 people and they'll get no's from each of those people. And they'll go, oh, well, that must mean nobody wants what I have to offer. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I should just give up. They get discouraged and they quit, right? And it's frustrating because it's like, no, you got to think about the pyramid. You just hit a couple of these people down here and you have so much other opportunity out there, but you're giving up before you're getting to your destination. So I just want to let you know, like, to be an attractor, you need to constantly be ready to do business with someone and have your content in the right places, so that when this top 10% does go out and search for you, the top 3% is searching for you, they find you and not someone else. And you need to understand that, so that when you are talking to people and they say no, you're gonna be okay, because you're gonna know, listen, this is just someone in the bottom of the pyramid, right? They're not for me right now. I'll tell you what, we have some drone to 1K instructors. To be a drone to 1K instructor on the drone side, you have to have a 6-figure business. That's kind of like my cutoff to be able to teach people in this course, the course that we have. And all of them, without exception, were like the ones that were out there soliciting business. So like, I heard no like hundreds of times. And they're all making 6 figures now. So don't let the no's mislead you. That's all, right? So again, you need to become the drone guy or drone girl. How do you do this? You need to build a portfolio, because if people don't know what you do, they don't know that you're the drone guy, right? So either networking, all right, even if you network, you might be bad. So they need to see that you can do what you're proclaiming that you can do, right? So let's see. How do you get a portfolio? Hey, Dave, how do I get a portfolio if no one wants to hire me? If I suck at this, how do I get better, right? Well, there's a few things, right? You can shoot what they call community video. Just go around your town, shoot different areas that are popular. So think, hey, if I'm going to Lakeland, you can go on tripadvisor.com, type in your city, what's popular in your city. The number one thing, get off your butt, get your drone, get out there, take some cool shots of that, put it on YouTube, put 4K drone footage, and then put the name of whatever it is, and then your city name. Boom, now you have something that's searchable. Go on Instagram, put it on your Instagram. Has a shorter like shelf life, if you will, but you could do that, right? You just have to put it up and put it on YouTube, then take the YouTube video, go to your website, embed the link in your website. So now you've got a YouTube video on your website, right? Oh, I went out to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and I filmed this, and here's the drone I used, and here's all the stuff. Oh, this is really cool. Hey, if you're interested in licensing this footage, contact me here. Or if you're interested in me shooting anything, you can reach me here. Not to be super salesy, but put your contact information in there, right? Do that. You don't have to ask anybody's permission to go shoot things in the public sphere. Again, make sure you're following the rules and not breaking any like local ordinances or anything. But you can go do that until you're getting jobs, and then you have some more actual paid work to show off, to fall back on. So that's just one tip there. Another thing you can do is you can reach out to local blogs and journalists. They always need content. They always need events covered, things like that. So we've tried that. I reached out to local Instagram accounts, local journalists, and say, hey, listen, if you ever need me to shoot anything, let me know. I keep my drone in my car. Happy to run over there and get it. Takes me 5 minutes. So I had some trees fall down by the library, got struck by lightning or something. Popped my drone up, took a couple photos, sent it to them. They used it for the news story. I just said, hey, I just love it. He gave me credit. Well, now they link to my site and they mention my name. So now that boosts my website for SEO. And now guess what? Everybody that reads the article goes, oh, that's a cool picture. Oh, look, David Young, and now, oh, hey, the drone guy, right? So free, again, it's kind of like never work for exposure. But for that kind of stuff, it literally takes me 5 minutes. And you can go out there and do that quickly. So just a tip for you right there, right? Another thing is just have your business be legitimized, right? If someone says, cool, I want to hire you, and you're like, I don't really know how to do that. You want to say, cool, who should I make the check out to, or how do I pay you? Have a way for them to pay you. It's good to have a business name. It's not the end of the world if you don't. It's more important to go out there and become known for drone work before that stuff, but it definitely helps. It looks like somebody has entered the building here. The lights are back on. All right. So that is secret number 2, right? Become an attractor. I know I kind of spent a lot of time on that, but that's a pretty important one. So I just wanted to put it out there. Let me know if you have any questions. Now I'm going to go back through some content or some of the comments to see if I can answer anything. Classes for 3D map. Yeah. So that's, I'll let you know, I haven't told anybody this, but that is scheduled to be our next course, is to do 3D modeling and mapping. Have someone now who's done very well with that. And so they're going to partner with us on making that. So I'll have to keep you posted on that. Right now, if you go to Drone Deploy, they have a lot of kind of not like super how to be successful at this as a career, but they have information on how to use their software in a lot of use cases. Pix4D, you can check them out too. But they have some good content out there. Thank you for the nice love. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. Brandon, your wish will probably come true in a couple months, hopefully. All right. You need to be able to hit the same person 8 times minimum. Yeah, people need to hear from you a lot before they end up pulling the trigger, right? Okay, cool. So I think that's good. All right, let's do this. Secret number 3. Let's keep rolling here. Secret number 3. Don't be afraid to niche down. This might be the number one thing I see people struggling with, right? It's hard. It's a hard concept to step out in. So you think, okay, I've got a drone business. What do I want to do? I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to do everything. So I think it's okay to explore and to try out different things so you understand what you like and what you don't like. However, at some point, you need to choose a niche and go in on that niche, at least from your marketing message. What I mean by that, think about if you are a cell tower company or you own a bunch of cell towers and you're like, I need somebody to go inspect these cell towers and give me a bunch of documentation from this, right? Or I need somebody to look at this solar farm and give me a bunch of reports, thermography reports on the effectiveness of all these panels and cells, right? They search drone pilot, Newark, New Jersey, whatever, and they come up and they see a list of people, and let's say you somehow rank towards the top, so they click your website and they say John's Drone Services, and they see drone wedding videography. Also, if you don't have a DJ at your wedding, we'll DJ for you too. We do construction progress photos. We do 3D mapping and modeling. We love taking pictures of horses with our drone. All that stuff, right? Are they going to be like, this is our guy. He is an expert at, thermal solar panel inspections. No, they're gonna be like, oh, this guy isn't serious about this industry. He's a generalist, or they're just trying. It looks like you're trying to cast such a wide net that you'll take anything. And while you feel like, hey, I want to be available to do all of these things, and I don't want to turn business away, what you're doing on accident is you're turning business away before it even gets to you, because you are not seen as a professional in solving the problem that person needs solved. So I'm going to tell you, just like I said, all the, successful people I know, they don't rely on these drone job aggregators. Similarly, every single person I know who's very successful doing drone business full time, they made their money by going deep into one niche. Now, I'm not just saying that you can never do anything else, right? So I know people who they go all in on one niche, and then they get approached by someone says, hey, also, we have a bunch of roofs that we need documented. Can you do this? And they're like, cool, well, I got a list. And as they have time between other jobs, they go and they add that, but they don't go on their website and advertise, hey, we'll take pictures of your roof, right? They're very locked in on, we do real estate video for agents in the Lexington, Kentucky area. That's like a Beard House Media, one of our Drone to 1K instructors, right? So whether it's real estate video, cell tower inspections, thermography, inspections in the energy sector, or a real estate kind of full package, ground photos, videos, but focusing all on real estate marketing for agents. They've picked one problem at a time to really focus on solving for someone. They've gone deep on that, because the problem is, in order to be really successful and in order to make good money in something, you have to invest in really mastering the problems that those people have. And you got to meet a lot of people in that industry. You have to build up trust with people in that industry. You have to understand their problem better than your competitors, right? So if you're competing against the guy who also does wedding videos, that guy's worried about some bride's request, when you can worry about, hey, I just want to know everything there is to know about, how to do thermal scans on this bridge, So you need to pick something, and it can be cinematography. I mean, there's people who are making money. One thing I thought was cool is the guy I was talking about earlier, Maryland drone guy. I don't even know if he knows he's niching down, but he takes a lot of really great, like, landscape style photographs and videos, and he's getting approached to do that type of work all the time. So what people see you posting and what they see you doing is what they're going to want to hire you for. And that's something that we'll teach in that course too. So you got to niche down, and don't be afraid to eventually pick something and say, all right, I'm going to go all in on this. I'm going to attend every industry conference. I'm going to consume all of the information I can find about this industry. I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to find everyone I can who's in this industry and ask them if I can just have 5 minutes of their time. You just have to pick an industry, pick a segment, a niche to go in and really pursue it, and don't look back. And that is how you are going to really build clients' trust and how you're going to win business. Because if someone's looking, every time someone goes looking for someone to help them, they're looking to solve a specific problem. And if you look like you solve 10 different problems in 10 different industries, you will be perceived to not be as effective to the guy who solves 1 or 2 problems in the same industry. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just say, yes, David, that makes sense in the chat, or be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're full of crap. Let me know and we can talk. And while you're doing that, let me answer some questions here, and then I'll get to number 4 and 5. Yes, I'm getting some yeses. Okay. Hopefully you guys aren't just sucking up to me, and hopefully this actually does make sense. I think we answered this, but do you need a license to do all this? Yes. And Audrey, who I appreciate is in the chat, says, yes, you need a Part 107 license to fly your drone commercially, and you'll need a recurrent exam. Actually, real quick, on the recurrent test, this is not super related to this, but or it's related to this question. FAA is changing it to where you can now just take an free online course and assessment on their website every 2 years just to stay up to date. So you don't have to pay to take a test again. So that's nice that we don't have to do that again. Cool. All right, Eric, thanks for taking our course. Glad to know that you're about to go into real estate. Again, another complaint people say is, oh, real estate's so flooded. I can't get into real estate. It's so flooded. Well, problem is you're trying to focus on real estate, and you're also trying to focus on mapping, and you're also trying to focus on filming for pools. Just only talk to real estate agents, and just focus in on that and try to only do that. Because it's possible if you can become the trusted person to 5, 6 agents, eventually you'll have all the business you need. All right, let's see here. Makes sense. Cool. 1 yes for every 10 no's. Yeah, that's right. Man, yeah, Kevin Olson, you're getting a lot of love. I don't know if you're on this call, but people are giving some good love for your stuff here. All right, cool. All right, we'll move on to the secret. Next secret number 4. If I can find it here. Become an educator. That's something that we see all the time, right? There are certain industries where people automatically know that they need your help. For instance, if you own a business and comes time to do your taxes, you can choose to try to do it yourself, but most business owners I know are like, I'm going to screw this up, especially if they're like full-time business owners. They have tax count it. They're like, cool, I'm going to ship it off to you. Or they might use TurboTax or something like something like that to do it. But they know I've got a problem. I need someone to help me with this. And so they go out and find it, and they don't really have to be convinced that hard, right? They maybe have to be convinced between 2 different people, but they don't have to be convinced that they have a problem that hard. With a lot of drone work, drones are relatively new to most industries that they are being applied in. I would say the most widely adopted one at this point is real estate, right? So it's becoming more and more common to see drones in real estate photos and videos. But I would say even video is not quite as widely adopted in real estate as it is becoming. Right? I think with COVID, that helped accelerate some of the video tour stuff. But you still can educate on, hey, here's why people use a drone for real estate, or here's why people use video for real estate, if you're kind of just encompassing drone in with your other package. You could say there's stats out there that say, hey, listen, all these people who want to list a home, they say that 70% of them said they want an agent that uses video, but only a very small percentage of agents actually use video. So this is a way for you to set yourself apart and to get more listings, and kind of, since there's so many agents out there trying to do stuff, it's a way to separate yourself. So you can educate them and say, listen, hey, here's an example of what I've done. Next time you get a listing, let me shoot that one. Or next time you get a listing meeting, show your client this video that I've done for someone else and ask them if that's something that they'd want. And if you win that listing, hire me, So you have to you can educate them, right? This is especially true with construction. We're adding some how to get clients in construction videos to our Drone to 1K course. We're actually filming that. I was filming that earlier today with Root Patel. He's going to be one of our new instructors. And he was telling me, yeah, Dave, I had to educate so many clients because, people in this construction industry, they are kind of slow to adapt. Like, wait, what can it do? How does they just don't even know half the time. So part of your battle is getting out there and educating them, saying, hey, let me show you how this works. Can I get my drone in the air and let me take a orthomosaic map and just show it to you and pull it up? Oh, cool. Now I can measure here to here. See how that's cool. And they're like, oh, wow. A lot of times people don't even know how the drone can help them. So if you're becoming an educator, you're not, that's a way to sell without coming across like you're trying to be salesy. You're just saying, hey, let me show you how this works. Is this helpful for you? Do you want it? And yes or no, So this works really well with the 7% group who have the need for, I was talking about the triangle, they have the need for what you offer, but they're not necessarily looking for you. You can come and educate them, right? So you can do this in a wide variety of things. Utilities, if you're armed with data and know how drones can help, then you can go to those industries and talk about, hey, here's all the things a drone can do for you, without sounding like a salesperson. Say, hey, let me show you. Get the drone up and show them how, right? And so that's how you can get a lot of those kind of recurring clients that'll lead to that. When you educate them, it helps build that trust to where they'll kind of keep coming back to you, right? All right, let's see. What do we got here? I'll look for some comments. That was the end of Secret 4. That was a short secret. So if you have questions on that one, send them in here. All right. Got a lot of requests for inside videos. Yep. Kind of inside, outside, videos are pretty common, becoming more common in real estate. So a lot of people that we know that do drone videos end up just getting like a handheld camera too, or like an Osmo to do the interior videos as well. Hey, what's up? Here's Cody Retlick, one of our instructors. He's biased to say this. So he's just trying to bug me out. No, just kidding, Cody. Root is on. Yes, Root will be one of our new instructors. So we just shot stuff today. So those videos will hopefully be loaded into the course in the next few weeks here. Stats for education. So a lot of times you can just Google it. There's stats all over the place. There's reports on the Association of Realtors website. I mean, you could just type stats for drones in construction and people publish stuff all the time. I'm sorry, that's kind of a vague answer, but a lot of times you can find it through a pretty easy Google search. Cool. All right, so that's number 4. Let's keep moving. Number 5. Don't want to waste your time here. Number 5 is don't quit. Obviously, that sounds, you're kind of like, what, David? That's it. That's stupid. I'm telling you, again, I've talked to literally thousands of people over the last 4 years. I've interviewed all these people for the Drone to 1K podcast. I've seen people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars and $0. One of the biggest differentiators is do not quit, right? So we talked about that. When you hear no a couple times, it's discouraging. You may want to quit. You have to just continue to go. I think one of the reasons why people quit is they feel like maybe a couple things, right? I don't know. If you've quit something or if you felt like quitting, write in the chat real quick. Why did you quit? Or why do you think you quit? When I think about it, I feel like people think nobody wants what I have to offer, or you hear no a lot, or you just kind of get down and discouraged. And you're like, this isn't worth the time to try to do this. I'm just going to stop, right? Nobody wants to do something that feels uncomfortable with no payoff, right? So there's that. I think time is another one. They think, oh, I'm busy. I don't have time to do this. They just kind of say, it's not worth it right now, right? Yeah, saturation, that's another one. It's too saturated. I just don't want to do it, right? Again, the people that I know that are successful, they're doing 6 figures, this have found a way to push through. Honestly, this goes for really any business at the beginning, right? Your first year probably is I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's probably going to be hard, right? So if I could tell you, if I could say, hey, listen, I can tell you that your business will be a success. You will make money. You will have clients. You will get paid. You will make money, and you will be loving doing your drone business. You'll be like, oh, fantastic. And I'll be like, but it's going to take consistent, persistent work, and you have to fight through feelings of wanting to quit what you're doing, but you're going to have to keep going past that. And you're going to have to continue to follow the plan. And you're going to have to continue to look back at what other people have done who have been there before you. And you're going to have to continue on that, even if it feels like it sucks, right? And so then you might be like, oh, okay, well, you need to know what you're getting into. I know there's a lot of people out there that try to sell stuff, sell the dream, and like, oh, it's just, there's no work. You just click buttons and the money comes in. I'll tell you what, that is not true. When I started this business, even making online courses, I've wanted to quit 1,000 times, right? Oh, this isn't going to work. People don't want this, whatever. You just have to go, no, you go back to the drawing board. You get out there, you talk to people who are your customers or who would be your customers, and you figure out, hey, how can I help serve you better? And how can I give you something that's going to solve your problems, right? And when you do that, you just have to stay with it, right? So, oh, there goes my camera again. Let me push that button. There we go. Where'd it go? There we go. So again, I know it sounds simple, but this is the hardest one of the 5 because it just requires so much perseverance that a lot of people just won't commit to. And so I don't know any other way to tell it to you other than you just have to not quit to do it. Everyone I know that's successful has wanted to quit and they didn't quit, right? Let's see, Jeff, even for the people who say, no, you're planting a seed so that when I need someone to like to think of you. Yeah, very true. That goes back to our findability top of mind thing, right? Let's see. People think everyone with a drone is competition. Yeah, you put competition down there and they don't know how to differentiate. Exactly. Not everyone with a drone is competition because guess what? It's almost to your advantage that people want to quit because people will go in it and they'll start and they'll be like, oh, wow, this is harder than I thought. They're not going to have a plan. They're not going to have support and they're going to quit, right? So in order to not quit, you really need people around you that support you. Since I started my business, have been in some type of mentorship, coaching. I try to do that almost all the time. I think right now is the only time I've not been in an active group where I'm paying someone else to coach me to be there when I'm like, hey, listen, this sucks. Here's what I'm going through. And they'll give you words of encouragement. Now I have people in my life now that I've built up that I can go to for that, but you really need that to be able to do that, right? Cool. All right. Cool. All right. I think that is the last of our secrets. Now I'm going to get into the framework quickly on, have a better attitude than the last guy. That's right. No pain, no gain. All right. I like the way you guys are thinking. Boom. If my Mavic Air 2 goes in a tree, so the heck do I? Nice. Cool. I like these attitudes. This is what you want. All right. Okay. So now I told you I'd give you the framework, profitable drone business framework. I've given it to you a little bit in this training we've done, but I'm going to give it to you here again. So first thing you got to do, number 1, I don't have notes for this. So if you want this, just write it down. Number 1 is you got to get your, you got to figure out how to fly a drone and you got to get your remote pilot certificate, commonly called your Part 107 license. So flying a drone isn't that hard. You can practice. Get a cheap drone to start off with, like a Cyma X5C or something. I think the cheapest one that has like stabilization is probably like a Tello, like a DJI or the Rise Tello. I have one over there I can show you later. There's like $100. Get something so you're comfortable flying a drone. We've got courses that you can get, I think for $1 if you use, I think we use the promo code podcast. It's from our podcast that we give these promo codes. They're normally $50, but if you use the promo code podcast, you get it for $1. It's like Drones 101, Mavic Mini 101, and the new Drone Mini 2 101. So each of those has flight exercises in them that help you figure out how to not crash, how to fly your drone, how it works, all that stuff. So you can go on our website, find those. If you use the promo code all uppercase podcast, it's like $1. So you can get in there and check it out if you need to figure out how to fly drones, right? So number 1, figure out how to fly a drone. Practice so you're not going to crash, and get your Part 107 certificate, right? Step 2 of the drone business framework is work on becoming findable. So that is all of the things, building a portfolio, getting your website set up where it's like juiced up for SEO so that you're going to be findable when Googled, your Google My Business, all of your social profiles, all that stuff, so that when someone is searching the internet for what you do, they find you, right? So I call that being findable, right? Number 3 is be business ready. So that is all the boring back office stuff that's necessary to have a successful drone business. So that's drone insurance. I actually got a lot of questions on drone insurance, surprisingly, in the questionnaire. So I'll hit on that in a minute. Drone insurance, bookkeeping, invoicing, contracts, what else? All that fun, setting up your LLC and making sure that you're got an operating agreement and a business bank account. All that stuff. You don't have to do that at the very beginning. You could kind of do that later after you maybe like landed a client or two. but it's good if you know you're going to commit to it to sort that out and get it done with, right? All right. So then where we got 1, 2, 3, fourth is, again, you can do these a little out of order. Build your network and show your value. This might be one of the biggest ones. That is getting out there. So you have the be findable. So I told you it's kind of like a two-pronged attack. So be findable. So if someone's searching for you, they find you. So that's kind of like let them come to you. That's inbound. But then you can also go outbound too, and you go to other people and say, hey, here's who I am. Join association groups, join things in your community. If you've picked your industry that you want to be in, let's say you want to do real estate, sign up for your local association of realtors, go to all their sessions, offer to give training, anything you can do to get to know more real estate agents. If you want to go into construction stuff, join your local builders association, your state builders association, go to every conference you can find, right? To meet those people and dive in, right? So build that network and then show your value, right? So if you understand how to do the products they need, go out and get some sample work, get it on an iPad and say, when you meet them at a conference, the question comes up, hey, what do you do? Oh, I have a business. We collect aerial data for construction companies. We help them make sure that they don't have to do a bunch of rework. Here, I'll show you. We made this map and here's how we did this. Give them a little case study. People will be like, oh, that's interesting, right? So show your value, build your network, continue to do that, right? And then when you do that, it's inevitable that you're going to land a paying client if you are consistent with those things I laid out, right? So you're going to land a paying client. Cool. Now you got cash coming in the door. Well, guess what? Now you got some cash. You can reinvest that into either paid advertising if you want. If you need to get nicer equipment, you can do that. Maybe you can upgrade your software. So now you have more capabilities and you're able to expand and you're able to maybe run some, like I said, paid ads, things like that. Now you can get more clients in and you can scale your brand and grow your business and grow your clients, right? So that's kind of the one part one, fly a drone, part 107, be findable, be business ready, build network and show value, land your first paying client. Sorry, my finger's kind of jacked up. And 6, scale your brand and your clients. So that's kind of like your 6-step framework here for your drone business. All right. Now I'm going to review some questions here. Oh, wait. So Audrey's throwing some links in here for the Drones 101, Mavic Mini, boom, boom, boom. All right. All right, so I will answer some of these questions in just a sec. The first thing I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to tell you, so I told everyone that our Drone 1K course, I've alluded to it a couple times on here. We created this course. Just want to tell you about it briefly in case you're interested. Boom. So we created this course last year. I had the idea because everybody's like, hey, I seemed to be having trouble growing a drone business. Even if they were like pretty good at what they were doing, they had those skills, like they were really good at video stuff or they knew how to do mapping, they still were struggling to get paying clients and to build a business. So I thought, you know what? We need to just give people a roadmap for this and tell them exactly how to do it and give them a plan and just make like the ultimate master course on starting a successful drone business. So we started with 100 people. It was like a little beta group. We taught it live. I got every smart person in my life that I could find in business and in drones, and I convinced them to teach in this course to combine everyone I knew that was good to help people start and grow a successful drone business. So, like, I'll give you the rundown of instructors. It's like all-star dream team to me. Cody Retlick, 6-figure drone business owner, has done some construction stuff, does a lot of inspections for like assets, cell towers. He was on this call too, right? So he's got a big drone business. He teaches, and he has a background in sales even before he was in a drone business. So he teaches a lot of the sales and outreach and how he's gotten clients. Jeremiah Oshwald, 6-figure drone business owner in real estate video and doing commercial video shoots for like Outlander, overlanding like Jeeps and stuff like that. He gets a lot of cool sponsorships and does that. Dominic Wilkerson, guy in Seattle, like full service real estate marketing, also uses drones, makes, he was making serious money, like well into 6 figures. The guy who did all of my search engine optimization, Steve, he teaches all the SEO stuff. The guy who runs all of my paid ads, he teaches how to do Google ads for drone service businesses. And actually the cool part about it, he's got a file that he already created all the ads, tested all the ads. And all you have to do is upload this file into your Google ads, change it for your business and for your location. And now you have ads that you can run and you can turn on, and he teaches you how to optimize them and all that stuff, right? Cool. So that's that. My personal tax accountant, my business tax accountant, he teaches you how to do all bookkeeping, talks about taxes, talks about your optimal entity structure so that you can legally minimize your taxes. So that's like the financial part of it. So the whole financial piece. The company Skywatch, they're like my favorite drone insurance company. They came in and taught all about drone insurance, what you need to know. And it's not all specific to their company, but just in general, everything you know about drone insurance. Now we've got 2 new instructors, Jeff Carrillo, who's going to be on season 4 of the podcast, and Root Patel. He was on season 3. They're going to be talking about how to get clients, because we had a lot of like more real estate focused people the first time around. But now Root has made well over 6 figures in the construction industry, doing progress updates, doing mapping, 3D modeling for construction. And then now he focuses more on the energy sector and doing more like inspection work and engineering, hires engineers to help them. So he is going to be working with teaching how to do construction clients and energy clients. So we dive into, okay, what do you need to know about this industry? What does it take to be successful? What equipment do you need? Who are the players in the industry that you're going to need to talk to? Where do you find them and meet them? When you meet them, what do you say to them? You know, how are you going to like talk to them about your drone services and what gets these people to buy? Cool. What do the deliverables look like? You know, it's not a course, let's say for Root teaching construction. He's not going to teach you, hey, here's how to do the map, because this is like a business course, but it's basically everything just short of that, right? So Root Patel, and then Jeff Carrillo, he's a licensed thermographer, and he does commercial building inspections, thermal building inspections. So walls, roofs, all that stuff. And he's built a 6-figure business doing this all over the country, Texas, Florida, and he has inspected bridges, all on the thermal side. So he teaches all about how to get those contracts, where he's met all the people, the conferences he goes to, how he used LinkedIn, how he uses his, he does a lot of email outreach that's really successful. So he gives you his templates that he uses to do cold emails to people. We're just trying to like hand it to you as much as possible. So those are the instructors. And then I teach some of it too. And I'll go through it real quick here. Let's see if I can share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. Share screen. Application. Share. All right. So let me move the banner here. I'm just going to go through real quick. Someone was asking to see it in writing, so hopefully this helps a little bit. All right. So this is the curriculum, right? So it starts, remember, so we've got some old office hours calls in there that you can watch through for the welcome. So we have ready to dive in. So we go into, it's literally covers everything from the very beginning. So if you have no drone business, this can help you get set up from the beginning. So it's how to pick your name and logo, registering your domain, setting up all social profiles, how to set up your Google My Business, all the principles for having a website that converts people, all the things that you need to put on your website, what you need to say, templates, how to do search engine optimization, what Google looks for, how to do, get backlinks, all the things you need to know. This helps get your website ranking higher, so you have a higher likelihood of getting found. Then I literally walk you through click by click. If you don't have a website, it's like, hey, here's how to build a website. Use this, put these pictures here, put this information here. Here's how to connect it all. Here's everything you need on, like literally click by click on your entire website. If you're like, how do I build my portfolio? Hey, guess what? Here's exactly how to build your portfolio, what to do. I go through and talk about examples of good portfolios and bad portfolios, right? Then we dive into your business entity and banking setup. This again is with my business CPA, walking you through all of this. What is a business entity? How do you know which one's right for you? How do you set it up? How do you register it? How do you do the documents that you need before you go to the bank, your operating agreement? We give you templates for that stuff too. What is an S corporation? When to switch? How to set up a bank account? How to do all your bookkeeping. There's a free bookkeeping software I use that's awesome called Wave. We show you how to set all that up, how to send professional invoices, how to accept credit cards, how to categorize everything, how to get your financials, your business taxes. And then we get into drone insurance. Skywatch teaches literally everything about drone insurance. Oh, hey, let's say you have a special project where the construction clients wants you to have $5 million in liability, and they want their name to also be on the insurance certificate. How do you do that, right? So that's in here too. Right? Then we talk about networking, outreach. Literally, we have mock cold calls, emails, follow up, all this stuff, right? All the different methods. I mean, tons of stuff. I'm just scrolling through. This is, hey, let's say you don't want to talk to anyone and you just want to use Instagram to network with people and land it. Oh, sorry, that's Dominic. He teaches you how to do that. This is how he has found like over 100K worth of clients is just on Instagram without doing any like salesiness. Jeremiah also does 6 figures, and he's got a method that he uses where he goes and teaches a course, or he teaches a training to realtors. And so we give you, hey, here's Jeremiah's presentation that he uses. Every time he does it, he gets drone clients and real estate video clients. He literally walks you through the whole thing, how he does it, his pricing. Each of these instructors walks through all their pricing methods. And then here is your Google ads. So it talks about teaching you about Google ads, that file. Then we talk about how to optimize. And then we're adding those 2 new sections. Adding those 2 new sections I talked about on construction. Well, actually, guys, probably more like 3: construction, energy, and thermography. Again, how to get clients, what they want, what the deliverables look like, all that stuff. So that's the course. If you're interested in that, we're gonna have a deal on it. I told you sorry, that was really long, a lot at once. Sorry, I wanted to get through it without boring you guys to death. But normally this course, since it literally is like, we give you a website all the way down to land clients in every industry, contracts, all that stuff. Normally the course is like just shy of $1,000, like $999 or something. We're going to run a deal now through Thursday, where it's going to be $600 or $400 off. So you can get it for $600. But I told you, if you came on the live call, we give you like a super special deal, since you took the time to sign up or attend. So anybody who's on this call, we're going to give you a special code if you want to sign up to get half off. So I'm going to give you this so you can, if you want to jump in, you can, and then I'll stick around for as long as you want to answer any and all questions you have. So I'm not going to, you'll see emails going out about the $400 off deal. You will not see any emails about the half off deal, because that's only for this live call. Even when we do the replay tomorrow, I'm cutting this video right before I started talking about all that stuff, so people don't know that I offered you guys a larger discount than is going to go out in the emails to everyone, because I wanted to reward people who showed up and stayed to the end. So Audrey, I don't know if you're interested in that, Audrey, can you post that link in there in the chat for people? So it's like a half off deal. So that'll be only for tonight. So this link will expire. It's 9 o'clock right now, so it's set to expire at midnight. So obviously it'll be good while we're on the call, but you can still sign up until midnight, and then it will expire. But you'll still be able to get the $400 off deal. And I believe we also have like a payment plan. If you want to spread it out, you can do like $179 over 4 months, something like that. So that'll be the deal you'll see in an email come out either later tonight or tomorrow. That's the deal. But if you want the deal for just this call, it's going to be the link that Audrey's posting there. Or you can just navigate. You can find the Drone to 1K link, and I think the code is just live half off if you type that in, and that should be there. So jump in there. If you do decide to jump in the course, just put in the chat and say I'm in, so that way I know that you have joined the group and are in. One thing I was going to say a little bit more about it. There's going to be right now, I think there's 170. When we're done with the 2 new sections, there will be 200 videos, over 20 hours worth of content. So it's a lot of content, but you can go at your own pace, and you'll own it you'll have it forever, right? So anytime we do updates, this is our 3rd round of updates. Anytime we do updates, you'll have those updates. And actually, we wanted to do one promo now, because after we do this one, we're not going to sell it this way anymore. We're actually going to break it up. We realized it's so much content that people seem to like almost get overwhelmed by it. So what we're going to do, and some people, they said, hey, David, I already have a drone business. And I just want this piece of it or whatever. So what we're going to do is, we actually realized we'll be better served if we split this Drone to 1K course up into multiple courses, and then we'll charge more for each of those. But then if you join as a whole program, you can get all of these courses together. After we split them out, for one bundle rate, but it'll be more than what we're offering it for now, since we'll be doing that next time. But if you're in the course now, you'll have access to all of them when we split them out, and you'll have access to all the changes we make. And we're going to be adding more and more content in the future, more and more on the digital marketing, especially with Google ads, Facebook ads, all that stuff. Cool. Good to hear that folks are jumping in there. Also, I want to say one of the biggest things that people really enjoyed when we did this course, launched it the last time, was we did these like live group calls. So we said, hey, listen, if you are in the course, if you're in the course, jump on a call with us, and we can walk through anything you want. So like office hours. So this almost was people's favorite part, because they got to talk to other people that were going through the same things that they were going through. I was there to give advice on, hey, here's how to navigate this situation or that situation. We had some Drone to 1K instructors come on from time to time, so they give feedback. Oh, real quick, how long do the new sections come out? I was filming them last week. Today, I have another filming session on Wednesday, another one on Monday. So I would assume that they'll be in the course in the within the next 2 weeks. So they'll be in there pretty quickly. Cool. Scott just enrolled. Sweet. I'm in. Just purchased. Yes, there'll be a replay tomorrow, but the deal will be just for tonight. We're going to cut the deal part out of the replay. Already on board, joining. I'm in. Sweet. Good to hear everyone. So we'll be doing all that and splitting it up. But you'll have access to all that stuff on all the individual courses. But the group calls. So I think what we're going to do this time, we're going to have group calls for the people that join during this promo period. I can't commit to do this all the time. I like doing them. They're very enjoyable for me. But it is a lot of work to constantly commit to those calls kind of into perpetuity. So I think we're going to do two a month for 3 months, I think is what we said. So that gives people enough time. So we'll meet, try to give you some action plans and some steps to implement over the next 2 weeks. And then when we come back, you can give us your progress update and tell the group how you've been, what challenges you're working through. And then we'll talk. I'll try to give you guys some action plans, and then another 2 weeks. So we'll do, I think 3 months, 2 per month for 3 months, because that should give you time to like get through the program and start getting clients, hopefully, and getting out there, right? So as far as a guarantee goes, some people say, hey, I need a guarantee. Need the guarantee, right? So we have a guarantee, but here's my deal with the guarantee. We put a lot. I mean, I've probably invested over a year of my life into this course. I flew all around the country. I flew to Milwaukee, Seattle twice, Lexington, Kentucky, Washington, D.C., South Carolina for AJ. I flew to all these people to film all these courses, thousands of dollars on video editing, airfare, tons of late nights in this office filming, tons of talking to students, group calls, all this stuff. What I don't want is you to sign up for the course and then decide, I don't feel like doing the work. I'm just going to get my money back, right? That's not fair to you. That's not fair to me. If you're going to do this, I want you to be committed to do it. So I do guarantee the effectiveness of this material. If you do the work that is inside of this course, I am super confident you will have success. So I am happy to guarantee that if you join and you try what we teach, and it doesn't work for you, you just let me know. Even if it's 3 months from now, and I will give you your money back. I only ask that you show me how you tried. So you can show me, hey, David, I did the training that you told me to give. No one responded. I did these outreach methods. I got nowhere. I attended the live calls. I did everything you guys said. It didn't work. I am very confident that situation will not occur. And if it does, I want you to have all of your money back. I will give it to you happily, because I do not want you to pay for something that is ineffective and won't work. I'm confident that it does work because it's worked for a lot of other people, but I just want you to have that reassurance that you know that you're going to get something that is up to date, effective, and works for drone businesses right now. Like we're recording videos like this week on what is working for people. Like Jeff, we literally recorded a video. He said, hey, I used this email strategy last week and I did the job this week and I got paid like $2,000, or whatever it was. It was a thermal job, so it's probably a lot. So this works now. So I'm guaranteeing you that it will work, but I just need you to show me something that I'm giving you the information. I just need you to give me the effort, right? So I will guarantee that that will work, right? Construction videos come out. I'm going to give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Mike. I just need time to get them edited. My video editor is actually working on them overnight right now. So we should have first drafts done tomorrow. We want to get them cleaned up and, get titles on there, make them nice, clean them up. So I would say a week to 2 weeks till the construction videos are in there. But honestly, there's 18 hours of content before that for you to get through. So I think you'll have a lot. You'll have to go over. Also, there's a Facebook group. Spanky's in it. This is Al, goes by Spanky. He's a Drone to 1K student. They all love the office hours so much that when I stopped doing when we finished the scheduled ones, they're like, hey, let's just do our own, which great. I'm all for you guys meeting up and encouraging each other. We got a great Facebook group of people that post their work in there. They encourage each other. They become friends. It's just a great supportive place where everybody's trying to do the same thing. They're sharing information, what's working for them, what's not working. So I really love this community that everyone in there has joined. Everybody's very encouraging. We don't allow any riffraff. I don't even think we've ever had to delete any comments or ban anyone because everybody's been so good, so supportive. But we watch it. So if someone's being a real jerk, we'll, tell them to cut it out or, kind of crack down on it. But everybody in there has been great. So you get access to that community. Cool. Oh yeah, forgot one more thing. If you want to jump in that course, this is the business course. If you're like, hey, Dave, I want to do this, but now I also want to take some of your other courses. As of right now, if you're a Drone to 1K student, you automatically qualify to get 50% off of any other course that we have. Now, next time we promote this, we're planning on having, I haven't told a lot of people about this. I'm going to cut this out of the replay anyway, so I'll tell you guys about it. But we're planning on having a very low cost membership that you can be a part of where discounts will be included part of that. And when you join Drone to 1K, you will have a certain amount of access, certain length of access to that membership for free included with Drone to 1K, where you can access some of these discounts. But for this group, any lifetime, you'll have access to the discounts that we have for all of our other courses. And we have discounts. We have relationships with a drone retailer. And we're a dealer for them, a sub dealer. So we get discounts. They're not insane discounts, but typically it's anywhere from maybe 7 to 10% off of, batteries, even new drones. So that could almost pay for itself. Let's say you're going to buy a Mavic 2 Pro, that's $1,600, right? And you get, let's say 6% off, just be conservative, $1,600, 0.06. I mean, that's saving you $100 right there just on the drone. So we have access to those discounts. Right now, that's only available to Drone to 1K members. We don't make any money off of that. We just pass along our pricing to you. So you can put an order in within the course. There's little buttons where you can place orders. And then we'll place the order with our supplier just at, again, the same. We just pass all the pricing along to you. That, includes shipping and everything. And it gets sent right to you. Somebody just ordered actually yesterday or 2 days ago, a Fly More combo. So we ship that to them. So you have access to those discounts too this go around. Again, next go around, it's going to change a little bit. You might still have access, but in kind of a roundabout way. So yeah, let's see. Is there anybody here that's in the Drone to 1K course that wants to give their thoughts, honest thoughts? You don't have to suck up to me, but if you just want to give your thoughts. I think we had one earlier. I think Greg said some nice things about it, which was appreciated. Let's see here. All right. Oh, cool. Just joined. Thanks so much. All right, cool. Glad to hear, Bryant. I'm in. All right, sweet. Jeff, I'm here. All right. Just joined. Okay, so awesome. Somebody starting the Mavic Mini or the Mini 2 course. Awesome. Cool. Well, good luck. Jumped in. Awesome. Yeah, that's right. In order for it to work, you have to work it. I'm in. All right, Adrian. If you signed up in the past month. Yeah. So the group calls, we will open that to all current Drone to 1K members that are in there this time. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I kind of decide case by case on my schedule and how much I'm able to do that. Because once we launch this course and we do this promo, I then turn my attention to kind of what's next. What are we creating? What else are we going to create for you all to have, and that will benefit everyone. So let's see. Hey, Harry, that's nice. All right. So here's Harry. I'm in the course already, and you won't regret signing up. You can learn so much. All right. Appreciate it, Harry. That's really nice. I think I already own those. Joined. Excellent. What else we got here? Yes, this is an old comment, but if you sign up, you can get a discount. I mentioned that earlier. Are you allowed to network in the chat? Heck yeah, I encourage it. Oh man, there is my camera again. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's see. John 1K really helped me start drum. It's going slow. All right, cool. I was in the beta. Cool. Oh yeah. I grabbed some screenshots of people who were in the course before. If you're like, is David totally yanking my chain or is this real? All right. So here's one guy. I pulled these out of our Facebook group that we have. I just copied and pasted some of these. Hopefully these people don't mind. I mean, they did post it in the Facebook group and there's nothing personal in here. So here's Pipe Jar. He said, officially hit my 1K mark this month. If it wasn't for a lot of stuff I learned this course, it would not have been possible. Hopefully continue. So that's a person who had $1,000, right? And they paid half that or less, or half that, I think, for when they got in for the course. So boom, 100%, 200% return on investment. Well, I guess return on investment plus 100% right there. So that's awesome, just from one job. And here's the thing: some of the jobs we teach, depending on what industry you want to go into, if you're going into real estate, those jobs on the low end pay, let's say $200, $150, $200. In the span of an entire year, if you got 2.5 of those, and that's like the low paying jobs, you would pay for the course if you did that through the entire year, right? Some of these jobs, if you're going to do some of the construction progress updates that we're going to be teaching, Root is going to teach how he got those clients for him were about $1,000 per month when he landed them. Now, again, it's work to land these clients, but if you can do that, I mean, boom, your ROI is huge on that, right? You know, we had someone who took our course. We have a bunch of video testimonials on the sales page. The sales page kind of sucks right now. I haven't really devoted a lot of time to making that look pretty. We've mostly tried to get more and more content in there for you all. So don't judge on the sales page design. But if you look, there's videos on there and people can share their stories about what they thought about the course. We had one person in there, they joined the course. Then some storms went through and they went up there to go work the storms and they made like 10 or 12 grand in 1 month. Now, again, I don't want to be like, that's typical. I mean, there was a storm and they jumped on the opportunity and all that stuff. But I'm just saying it is possible to do this stuff, right? So here's a couple more. Brian K. If you're in the course, you know Brian. He's awesome. He's very involved. I love talking to him. But this was from a while ago, right? He said he booked his first drone job. He was doing real estate, so he had some that were camera, some that were both, and then some that were just drone, right? So he said he got 3.5 hours of drone work at $100 an hour. So that's $350 for 3.5 hours. And again, boom, almost made back the price of the course right there in one job. Okay. And that actually was from networking inside of the group. Another one, Jonathan, we actually had him on the podcast last week, hit my 1K month for July. So this was this past year. And he might hit it again for August. So awesome. Recouping some stuff there. Robert Nix, this is the guy I was telling you about, who was getting punched by the woman, right? He did a mission for a company that found him. And he got $200 right there for that job. Another one. Oh, so this is a current one. Actually, I'm going to see if this guy will join us on a call on Thursday. We're going to have like a Q&A call for anyone who has any questions still. But I sent this survey out a couple days ago or end of last week, said, hey, I just want to get an update from people. Any success stories? What things have you been most excited about since joining the course? And this guy says, so I said, what is the thing, this is poorly worded, what is the thing that has happened in your drone business that's excited you the most so far since joining the course? He said, I landed a paying gig with a commercial real estate company, and then I'd had my first 5K month. So these are the people that are applying what is being taught. If you're applying what you learn and you follow the plan, it will work. I'm very confident in that. So I just want to reassure you that I don't like to just like blow smoke and say, oh no, buy this, whatever. I try to be real with you and say that, we've put a ton of effort into this, and we want this to really benefit you and be the ultimate guide for you to start a drone business that you can, let's say you're like, cool, I need to go to the clients part. You can go to the part on landing clients and go through that. And you're like, oh crap, they wanted me to have my LLC set up. How do I do that? Hey, guess what? We got a whole section taught by a CPA on that. So then you can go there. You can go through that. So you don't have to feel like you have to go through it super linearly. You can jump around if you need to, depending on what you need, right? All right. What else we got? All right, we got. I'm in. Sweet. I think I'm signing in, and I don't see the deal. I think there's links here, and of course you can copy and paste. California that you could share. I think some of the ones that I just shared, Earl, were from California. Honestly, I don't remember where a lot of these people live. Actually, no, I do know for sure that Brian was in California. He's in the LA area. There's some other folks that are, I think that'll be on the podcast season 4, that they're in California as well. And they were in the course. And a lot of our testimonials, if you go to the video testimonials, they're also in California. So sorry, I don't have exact, like this one's California, this one's not. But I do know California, you can charge more because it's more expensive out there. But yes, there are a lot of scams basically everywhere. But here's the deal. If you go, I'm pretty big on our company reputation. If you go look on any review site, go to Facebook, look at our reviews. You cannot take down Facebook reviews. Like, they have to stay there. I can reply to them, but I can't take them down. I just encourage you to go look through our Facebook reviews. You'll see a couple negative ones on there. Those are people that maybe had an issue. We tried to resolve it. They sent like 3 emails in 20 minutes and we responded like an hour later, and they got mad and left a review, something like that. So that happens, but we try to respond to that. But overwhelmingly, we've got great reviews, and, we try to take pride in being fair with people, giving good customer service. We really want people to be successful. And if they're not, we don't want them to pay for it, especially if they've put in the effort. So, I guess if you're worried about scams, I'm happy to have you talk to anybody who's been through our stuff, or go check out any of the review sites that we can't modify. I think there's some on Glassdoor too, or maybe one of those other ones, which would seem odd. I don't know why we'd have Glassdoor reviews, but I think there are some on there. All right, Al was in there. Best resource yet. This course helps us grow. A lot of us work together, better ourselves. Discounts alone are totally worth it. And team support is all positive. All right, Al. Yeah, Al's great. He's a big group call attender, so I love talking about that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Do we have any in Canada? I think we do. I know we had some in Australia and some in the UK. I'm not 100% sure about Canada. We had people almost in Canada, like north of Seattle, but I can't tell you for sure. The principles should apply, right? Construction is the same, other than metric system in Canada as in the US, I would imagine. Solar panels are the same everywhere. Real estate, similar. I'm sure that, you have different, you have a few different things, but by and large, so I said, the things that will be different are, I think Wave actually might be a Canadian company. I could be wrong about that. The accounting software company. But some of the stuff on the business entity setup is specific to the United States. So like an LLC, things like that. So that part will be US specific, but the rest of it, which is like, 95% of it, should be applicable. All right, let's see. Hey, that's nice. Trueblood, I can say their customer service is thumbs up. I appreciate that. We're a small team. If you think about it, no one really offers this kind of material. That is true. And that's why we want to do it. I realized there was so many people wanting help starting drone business, but just not a lot out there. And the people that did start stuff, I saw a couple, like one person that would make a little bit of money with their drone, and they're like, oh, cool, let me show you how to start a drone business. And, that might be okay if you want to go into their specific niche and do it exactly their way, which may have worked for them or may not. One thing I really like about the Drone to 1K course is we try to encompass it from like every angle and have instructors who have been successful in so many different, so many different niches and verticals. So if you're like, hey, I want to do this and I want to go into construction. Now we're going to have, cool, we've got a whole section on how to do that and be successful. I really want to go into real estate videos, or I really want to only use this channel for marketing. It's like, hey, we've got people who've all built minimum 6-figure businesses, and they've done it in many different ways. So it allows you to kind of, it's it's almost like a choose your own adventure type of story, if you will. So you can try them all. I think if you did everything, what all the 5 businesses did, again, you might be overwhelmed. We kind of encourage you to pick one of the niches and then go deep in on that way that they did that. And then you can watch the other ones and pull different tactics from other people, but kind of pick the industry that you want to specialize in and go in deep there. And again, like I said, our Drone 1K instructors, frequently I can get them to come on these live calls and give some feedback and things like that. So, all right, that's nice. So much free already signed up. Awesome, cool. Still studying for 107, no problem. One step at a time. Let's see. All right, been out here for an hour, 30 minutes. I still got a lot of you hanging with me, so I appreciate that. If you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the questions that people had submitted beforehand, and I'm going to start talking through some of those. All right. So let's see. Number 1 was, what niche industries are good targets and how do you approach an offer? What certification or ancillary skills will help differentiate me in my drone service business? Sorry, these aren't ones that I can throw on the screen, unfortunately. So niche industries. So it's kind of how do I say this? There's industries that are easy to get into, but since they're easy to get into, a lot of people try to get into them, And so for those, you have to figure out ways to differentiate yourself, which is why I'm like, hey, go all in on one niche until you don't want to do that niche anymore, and then pick a different one. Because if you're trying to do everything at the same time, it's just not going to work. So, so niche industries, I think if I was going to start this from scratch today, you could try to do real estate. You get a lot of complaints about, real estate and agents. But if you're just like, hey, listen, I'm at the beginning here, I would just try to go to every single event I could, do a bunch of free work for agents until I got to be friends with a lot of them, and then offer a reasonably priced package on doing video. Either learn how to do it really quickly or outsource the video part of it and try to turn that into a machine. Or I would probably go construction and do the progress photos and start doing some modeling for construction sites. It's a little bit harder because you have to go, it's more of a business to business thing, and you have to go to these construction companies and talk them into using a new technology. So there's a lot more education there, but it can be nice because it's recurring revenue, longer projects, higher continued payments from them. But you have to, again, think of that pyramid. Root. You'll hear it if you sign up that he went and knocked on like every single door in this one city for any construction company he could find, hundreds of doors. He's like, I heard no over and over and over again. He's like, but I landed 15, I think he said 10 to 15 clients that paid him on average 10 grand each. So that's 6 figures right there, just doing that construction work. So you can do it. But again, you got that triangle, right? You're only going to get those 3 to 10% of people who are ready to say yes to you. So you got to keep that in mind. So that's what I would do. I'm going to while you guys are sending the questions, my voice keeps cracking. I'm going to get a quick drink of water over here, and I'll be back in like 2 milliseconds. All right, it was a running joke in our when I would do live calls for the Drone 1K. I would drink a lot of Coke before. People used to give me crap. It's too much sugar. So I just want to let you know today, we're drinking a Voss lime mint water, probably the most pretentious drink you could drink. But they're really good, and I found them for cheap on Amazon, so don't judge me. Very good. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. All right, let me look at some questions from our live chat here. Oh yeah, Spanky knows the Voss stuff, all right? Are there any questions in here? Rural area in Michigan. Not sure if it's a good idea or not. I'm the only one in the county I live in. Hopefully you're not the only person. You're the only drone operator. Actually, that'd be a great idea. We had someone on season 4 of Drone 1K podcast, which is yet to be released. Hold on. This is water. It's sparkling water. It's 0 calories. Just got a little mint flavor in it, okay? is water. All right. Maybe you're referring to the Coke. All right, let's go back. Hold on. Oh no, did I lose it? Oh yeah, here we go. So they're in a very rural area in like somewhere very north. I can't remember. It was maybe New York. Oh gosh, I feel bad that I can't remember. Somewhere very north where it is freezing cold. Somewhere think like Buffalo, New York with a lot of snow. And this person hit the drone to 1K mark and was able to diversify some of his services in the colder months. But this person, he was out there and he was hustling and knew how to get in front of people and how to sell himself, right? So being in a rural area isn't bad, as long as there's not 75,000 drone companies there, which there won't be if it's a rural area. So you can definitely be successful, rural area, big area, because it's just, you got to think, who are you up against? And can you be better at building relationships and better at solving that person's problem than the other guy? And if there are no other guys, then piece of cake, or no other girls. Name of the practice drone. The one I like is Sima X5C. They used to be like $35 on Amazon, but after COVID, they went up to like $60. So I don't know if they got really popular. David, great question. And I only am very familiar with this answer because we just filmed on this today for the Drone to 1K course. So Root was talking about, I did a construction job, mapping job for a construction client. Do you need a surveyor's license? So it depends. He's like, hey, I had to do this thing. They wanted it to be an official survey. And depending on the state, you can or can't do survey work, without having a surveyor's license. So people think, oh, I need a surveyor license. I don't have a surveyor license, so I can't do it. But Root goes, well, the client hired me. They said they needed to be signed off by a surveyor. So I had already been networking at all these different events. I knew a couple surveyors, so I just hired one to be on my team. And guess what? Root went, he did the map, he processed all the data, he sent it to the surveyor. The surveyor validated his work, threw the stamp on there, charged him $400. Root passed that cost, wrapped it into his fee to the client. Boom, now he has a certified stamped survey map for the client, and Root is not a surveyor. Just because you are not one doesn't mean you can't get one on your team for that job. So you got to think outside the box sometimes. But yes, this can be an issue sometimes. You can't hold yourself out as a licensed surveyor and say, hey, I am certifying these boundary lines to this property. You have to just say, hey, this is just collecting data for inventory purposes or whatever. You can't attest to the boundary markers for property. If you're going to do that, you need to bring in a licensed surveyor, which you can do on a contract basis. Hope that helps. Adrian, how do I feel? I think of the drone base. Well, I talked about this at the beginning. I didn't call them out specifically, but again, I think it's good for practice, not good for long-term business building, if that makes sense. Hey, just past 90%. All right. Goal is action cinematography. Cool. You should check out FPV is season 1, episode 10 of the podcast. There's a Martin Novak, I think is his name. And what he does is he does cinematic FPV, if that makes sense. So he does a lot of action sports. So like downhill skiing, dirt biking. He gets hired to go racing and film that with some sweet FPV shots. There's also some commercials. I think it's called Real Steady, is a software that like steadies camera footage. But there's like a Kohl's commercial and a Timberland boots commercial that have both used FPV drones to like fly underneath shelves and above this and through pipes. And it's just make really cool videos. So there is a market out there, especially if you're a good FPV pilot. There's definitely a market for FPV cinematography if you can get good at it. So definitely a niche. Definitely a niche there. All right, what else we got for questions? Oh man, 92. All right, Ronald. Sweet. Okay. All right. Where do you see the thermal niche going in roof inspections? John Jeff Carrillo is going to be our guy on the Drone 1K course who is going to specialize in telling you to get thermal work. Now, I will say this. If you're going to do thermal, that's a bit more of a commitment. So you need to become a licensed, typically if you want to do any serious thermal work, you need to become a licensed thermographer, which means you need to get your level 1 thermographer certificate. And I guess you could get a thermal drone, collect the data, and do the same thing like with the surveyor license, the surveyor, where you're bringing in a thermographer to look at the work. You can potentially do that. However, if you're a lot of these thermal drones cost a lot of money anyways. The cheapest one I know about is probably about $3,000, and it's not even the greatest solution. If you're going to do one that's like legit for commercial buildings and things like that, you're going to have to potentially drop like 20 grand, and it can be expensive, 20, 30 grand on a large, like a matrice with a XT camera on it and all that stuff. So if you're going to drop that money, the thermographer certification is about $1,700 to $2,000. We don't do that, but there's the ITC Infrared Training Center and another place called Infraspection Institute, I think is what they're called. They offer those, so you can do that. However, Jeff Carrillo, he's dropped 40 grand on his drone, all this money on licensing. And he said within a year, he completely paid that back on the drone from the thermography work that he had done. And then from then on, it's just profit, right? So I think he actually added another drone to his fleet, hired some other pilots. Now his business does, north of 200K a year, specializing in thermography. So it's definitely a niche that you can do. And a lot of licensed thermographers right now, surprisingly, don't use drones. So he says, I get called a lot from licensed thermographers to do their projects because the roof is too big to cover. And if you're doing thermography work, like let's say you're doing a thermal roof inspection on a commercial roof, you're trying to detect moisture under the roof layer to see. So the way they do it is they have to pick a time when the temperature is changing dramatically, and then they do a thermal scan to see temperature differences because water will cool off or heat up at different rates than the physical material will. And so then they can see, that's how they notice where the water spots are because of the temperature differences. So there's only certain windows when they can do it when the sun is coming up, when the sun is going down. So if you're trying to do a roof that's like 1 million square feet or 600,000 square feet, and you're doing it by hand, you can't cover the whole roof in those time windows. So then they'd have to do it over the course of a week or something. Whereas Jeff with his drone can do the entire thing in one night. So a lot of times they'll call Jeff and say, hey, Jeff, I've got this job. Can you come fly it? So he doesn't even have to find the client. Just through his network, he gets hired for these jobs. He goes out, he flies his drone, he passes the data along. Now, again, he's not going to get paid as much for those jobs, but he's got his own clients too. So this is other people just referring him work to do in order to utilize his equipment. So he's been able to do that pretty well. And I see that growing from here. I don't have any like hard stats for you, but just from my own anecdotal evidence here. Season 4 of the podcast, I'm going to say late spring, early summer, probably early summer. We're going to release some of those bonus episodes in the meantime, the ones where we have the coaching calls with the podcast host, or sorry, the podcast guest, and then a listener. Those are really cool. And they get into a lot of interesting conversations and technical questions that I didn't think to ask on the podcast. So we'll have those come out as bonus episodes, and then we'll start releasing season 4. All right. Yeah. If you're, yeah, that's true. Cool. All right. If there are any other questions, feel free to jump in about the course or about drone business in general. Anything. I know there's 100 of you hanging with me almost 2 hours into this. So really appreciate it. Okay. So while you guys are thinking about any questions, oh wait, I got this question here. Let me see if I can answer this. I can't guarantee I'm able to answer every question, but just because I may not know. Is there value for new business owner to join the International Cinematographers Guild? Flying 5 years, but just going pro now. Do I need that IGC certification? Is it a certification? Well, first off, I have not heard of this. So maybe I'm naive, or maybe it's not important. I don't know. To get cinematography clients, I don't know. I don't know of anyone that I've ever interviewed on the podcast or talked to that has been asked, do you have an ICG certification? Could it hurt? Probably not. Certifications are always great, especially if it's not expensive. Go for it. But I wouldn't say that it's going to make or break your business. What's going to make or break your business in cinematography is how good you are at capturing like your eye for cinematography, how good you are at seeing the shot. It's also going to heavily rely on your editing skills. Can you color well? Good transitions? Do you have good flow? A lot of people, they just don't know how to make stuff flow. They'll fly a drone straight. They're like, okay, here's my demo reel. And they'll go to a lake and they'll get the drone low over the lake and they'll fly forward over the lake, which can kind of be a cool shot, like the low forward, like low to the ground shot. But that needs to be like the opening 2 seconds, not the opening 35 seconds, right? So they're like local down like this, or they're down like low to the ground. And it's like, is there anything else to this video? It's just like it's like just, that's all it is, right? And so, so you need to be good at like knowing what to show next and things like that. So that's what's going to make or break your business, in my opinion, not this certification. Yes, I was going to say the one person I remember was Chris Antonio from Philadelphia. He was with a local guild or organization. I don't know if that's the same thing as the IGC. Maybe it is, but I'm not sure. If you're doing film, like actual like filming for movies, maybe that's different. You have to join like a screen guild. Again, that's kind of out of my depths. I can ask some people. I know some people. Alex Castillo's done a lot of stuff for Netflix and film. He's another podcast guest. Maybe he would be a good person to answer. You can hit him up. He's a LA Aerial Images on Instagram. LA Aerial Images. I don't know if he'll care if I'm giving out his information, but he might know. Or you can hit up Chris D'Antonio from Philly Drone Shots on Instagram. He's super nice. I mean, Alex is really nice too, but either of those guys can help you out. Right now, we just do Google ads, but when we split the courses out and offer them as a bundle, the next thing we're going to add is Facebook ads. So if you sign up now, you'll get it. I don't have a target date on that. Probably closer to the summertime when we're going to add that to the course on Facebook ads. Because here's the thing about Google ads versus Facebook ads. Google ads give you hot, warm leads. If someone searches for, construction progress photos, right? They're looking for someone to do that. Typically, you can put negative keywords in to make it to where if they're looking for, other things related to that you won't show up. Facebook is more of a polling. You're having to interrupt someone who's not thinking about you and try to get them to then click and then sign up with you, right? So Facebook is good for things like awareness, not as good for things like contacting you about and booking your drone services, So it can be useful in a service business to kind of stay top of mind and remind you, but it's not as good for like getting the sale in that moment, if that makes sense. So there's still value there. But it's not quite the direct conversion that FAA would be. What is FAA recency in April 6th? Okay, April 6th, there's some new FAA drone regulations going into effect, updating Part 107. And this says after April 6th, if you need to renew your drone certificate, there's that 2-year renewal. You can just do it via their online course or their online kind of like recertification that's free instead of going back to a testing center, which kind of sucks. That's all it is. And there's some other rules. We put a video up on our YouTube channel about it. George did, but it talks about remote ID. Those rules are phasing in over time. The big ones though are flying at night. Now you can just fly at night, but you have to have taken the FAA training that's on their website for free. And you have to have a light on your drone that can be visible for 3 miles. And then there's one more. You can fly over people, but there's rules on how heavy your drone is and things like that. So if you want to get the details, you can watch that video. Honestly, just Google new FAA drone rules and stuff will come up. I know that's a horrible answer, but this is a good one. Phantom 4 for inspections. What other types of work can I find besides real estate photography? Yeah, so Phantom 4 is, most of the people I know that do mapping use a Phantom 4 Pro because it's got the mechanical shutter. Again, we just did a lesson on this today for Drone 1K, so I feel like super fresh on all these details. It's got a mechanical shutter and it's got a very large sensor, so you can get really good high resolution photos. And the mechanical shutter is good for like getting that crisp snap of the ground at an exact GPS coordinates. So when the images are stitched together, it makes it a lot more accurate to know where all the things are, especially if you're using ground control points. So Root, well, all his construction jobs, his mapping jobs, he was using the Phantom 4 Pro. So that's a great drone for that. Also, the guys that teach the roof inspection course where they take orthomosaic maps of residential and commercial roofs, they use a Phantom 4 Pro as well. So that's a great drone for that. And work you can find besides real estate, photography, cinematography. Yeah. So there's like the creative stuff you can do. And then there's more like the data-driven stuff you can do, like mapping, or even if you're not doing mapping, you can do a lot of inspection work, like cell tower inspections, and like asset inspections for like real estate and property owners. Sorry, that keeps going out. Utility inspections. There's a lot you can do on the more data-driven side of it versus the artistic side of it. So hope that helps, Jeff. All right, use of LiDAR with drones. I think that if you're going to use LiDAR with drones, you should rent the LiDAR sensor when you get a LiDAR job because they cost like several $100,000. Again, Root Patel, guy who's going to teach on our Drone 1K course we were filming today, he had a LiDAR job, and he has also some Matrice, but he rents the sensors that he needs, so that way he's not going to use it all the time. So when he gets a LiDAR, a contract bid comes out, he bids, he gets the contract. When he gets the contract, he rents the equipment he needs for the 2 weeks that he's using it. He mapped a bunch of, did a LiDAR for where power lines were. I think it was in Pennsylvania. So they know exactly when the tree is going to touch the power line, how much weight is, like if they have a snowstorm, when the trees are going to touch the power line and potentially have outages, so they know when to trim. It's kind of a cool project. But I think LiDAR is great. And you should rent the sensor because otherwise it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right, what else we got here? Feel free to keep firing it out. If you are enrolled in the Drone 1K course, you can get discounts this time around on other drone launch courses. Once you're enrolled, where can you find the discounts? There should be, where did it go? Here it is. Very beginning of the course in Welcome and How to Use This Course. The third lesson in that section says discounts on other DLA courses, and all of the links are there. Do you have courses on the larger drones, such as the Inspire 2? No, not right now. I know Alex Harris, the cinematography instructor that for drone launch, he has an Inspire 2, and I believe he incorporates that into his aerial video A to Z course. If not, I think he plans on doing that. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But no, we don't, just because it's not as, when we're making, especially these mini courses like the Mini 2 and the Mavic Mini, we're going to come out. We're waiting for the Mavic 3 to come out so that we can make one for that. I was going to make one. This is the Mavic Air 2. I was going to do it on this, but it's been out for a while, and I want to create the course, and then they come out with another one, and then no one wants that one anymore, because those courses cost us, every time we do them, they're a few $1,000s for us to make at least. So I just got to figure out, is it worth investing the money to make that course if no one wants it, right? So the Inspire 2 is good, but in order to really make one on the Inspire 2, you've got to know all the other things about cinematography. You've got to understand ISO, shutter speed, all of the other things that make that drone any good. So really, you would need to take that aerial video A to Z course anyways, or know a lot about that. So it makes more sense to incorporate that information in one of those courses versus like a mini course where, if you have a Mini 2, you can pull that out and fly it around. We're just showing you how to basically squeeze all the juice out of the drone in those courses, like how to use all the quick shots, how to use what every menu item does, where all the settings are, how to get airspace clearance, all the stuff that you need to know in order to use that drone effectively. We teach that to you. But it's not like a cinematography course, because we're just kind of showing you how to use it safely and how to use all the features that it comes with, basically. So hope that makes sense. All right. Again, so I got 100 people in here, so feel free to fire more questions away. And if you jump in the course, again, say amen. Phil, man, you guys are asking all the questions I literally just filmed about today for Drone 1K. This is really nice for me. I just filmed with Root about this. So we literally recorded a section in our construction clients section on deliverables and pricing. So quick tips for deliverables for mapping or surveying work. Okay, so for if you're doing mapping, obviously you have all the photos that come with the map. So your client may want that. Again, I hate the it depends answer, but it kind of does depend. If the client says, hey, we want all the photos from it too, then you can give them all the raw photographs that were taken to stitch your map together. But if you have a 3D map, that's going to spit out, and again, we're getting beyond my depth here a little bit. That's going to spit out an OBJ file, an object file. You're going to do a 2D orthomosaic map that's going to spit out a TIFF file, TIFF. And those are files that can be read by other pieces of software, like building information, modeling systems, QGIS, I think was the one I had in my notes earlier. There's a couple different softwares or pieces of software that can read those files and make them usable to the construction company, right? So you just need to know, hey, what software are you guys going to be using this file with? Are you guys using, AutoCAD, or, what are you using? And then you can get them the file in a way that is meaningful for them to upload. Or let's say you're just using it to report on their inventory, right? You can use some of the native features in like Drone Deploy, for instance, to do measurements or volumetrics. It just kind of depends on what the client wants. If they're like, hey, we want to see how much of this stockpile is used every month, like this big pile of dirt. If we got this much this month, and we have this much next month, how much did we use, right? So you can do those measurements within Drone Deploy. You can do those calculations and then kind of print that to like a PDF report, or you can like share that with them and they can view it. So there's a number of different deliverables you can do with mapping. Surveying, again, I think you can take those files, that TIFF file, put it into like a GIS software that I believe the surveyor can use to certify things. Again, a little fuzzy on that one, but some of that information will be covered in the Drone 1K course. Sorry, that's kind of specialized and gets a little bit out of my depth, and I'm just pulling for a lot of stuff that we were talking about with Root today. Let's see what else. All right. Cool, no problem, Jeff. Do you post a podcast on drone light shows? Do you have a podcast? I don't. So for the podcast, we focus on people who have drone service businesses that are making money. So if you have someone that has a business where they put on drone light shows and they make $1,000 or more per month, I will happily have them on. But yeah, let me know. I try to be consistent about that because I want people to know what to expect when they're on the podcast. Special price. Yeah. So Ronald, you'll see an email either later tonight or tomorrow, where the regular deal that we're offering during this 4 days is going to be $400 off, or of the full price, or you can do a monthly payment, I think of $179 a month for 4 months, which turns out to be a little bit more than $600, just because you're spreading it out. So that email should be coming out for the call, though. It was easier for us to just do the one pricing of the one-time payment. If you want to do that, if you don't want to do that, it's fine. You can still get on the one, get on the other one we're talking about. All right, Jeff, yeah, no worries, Jeff. It's fine. I hope you guys got a lot of information and value out of this little 2-hour session, answering questions. I'll try to do these more often. But I'm happy to help. I know not everybody's in a place financially or just with time or whatever. Not everybody wants to commit to a course. Online courses aren't for everybody. I'm never going to say that they are. But I take a lot of online courses too, because I just think they're a great shortcut to get to where you want to go, right? Either you can hack through it yourself, take a year to try to figure it out, or you can just be like, hey, who are all these other successful people that are just going to tell me exactly what they did and give me their exact step-by-step plan? You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of power in that. Craig, if you purchase the Drone 1K beta group, yes, you should automatically be in the newest version of the course. If not, in the beta course, which is a lot of the live recordings from when we shot it the first time, there should be a link in there to get access to the regular course. If you can't find it, email support, and they'll get you hooked up. So yeah, you're already in there for that. What were the Scott. Well, that's the thing about secrets. Is there secret? No, I'm just kidding. Let me see if I can give them to you in a quick nutshell. Number one was be careful about using drone job networks for a whole host of reasons. Use them as practice, basically, if you want. They're not going to make you rich. Number two, focus on being an attractor, which means having digital visibility, becoming like the drone guy we talked about, the buying cycle. It's kind of hard to get it all in like 5 seconds. And then the third one was don't be afraid to niche down. Every successful drone business that I've ever heard of focused on one single niche to make most of their money. That was it. You can watch the replay. We'll send a replay out with the first half of it for more. My goal for people getting in the Drone to 1K course is to have them on the Drone to 1K podcast to talk about their success. We've done that so far, at least with 3 people that are in the Drone to 1K course that are now on the Drone to 1K podcast. We have a ton of people that have hit 1K. Some people have hit 10K. I think you showed Joey, a guy earlier. He hit 5K in a month. So we would love for you all to do this. Get in there, start crushing it. And then I can feature you on the Drone to 1K podcast. That would be like my life's biggest joy, other than seeing my children grow up. So, Josiah, sweet. Thank you for the kind words. Jeff, yeah, check it out. Again, watch for an email tomorrow, at least tomorrow, if not tonight, and that'll be available. It misses the best way to deliver drone images to real estate clients. Nothing super fancy, honestly. Most of the people we know, they use Dropbox or Google Drive, and they organize their clients by folder and then by property address. So you have a property address, and it's got all the finished images in it that are edited and maybe the video files that you need, and you send them a Dropbox link, and you're done. Yeah, LaTroy, get on my podcast, man. Let me know when you're ready. I did have somebody reach out on Instagram and say, hey, David, I've been listening to your Drone 1K podcast. I hit 1K. I'm ready to come on. So I'm gonna get them on the podcast and feature them. So that's going to be great. Danny, appreciate it. No, I'm glad you attended. I know we've been on here a while, 2 hours. So I appreciate everybody hanging in there. Again, feel free to fire more questions. I'm going to go back to these questions over here. Since there's still 85 of you hanging with me, you're obviously staying on here for some reason. So I'll try to keep talking like a filibuster, basically. All right. What is the best use of it says beat use of time, but I'm pretty sure that's best use of time. I don't even know who sent this in, so I don't have names, so I'm not going to make fun of you. Best use of time for marketing and niche skills on a time and money budget, young family, and another flying job. Good question. If you have another flying job, if I was trying to like minimize my time, I'd be like, what is my existing network? Do I know anybody in real estate? Do I know anybody in construction? Do I know anybody in a certain industry? And I'm going to figure out how I can apply drones to solve a problem in that industry, because it's one of the hardest things, building trust with a network in a certain industry. Once you have that, everything becomes so much easier. So I would see, do you have that already, right? If you have that, I would really utilize that. And if you have another flying job, it sounds like maybe you're a pilot. I would use that as like a trust builder, credential builder. Say, hey, listen, I'm a pilot. I can also do this. But if you have no time and no money, it might be kind of hard, because you kind of need to devote one of those, either time or money to hire people to cut down on the time, or time to invest into building the business. So sorry if that's not the best answer, but I would look at my network. Who's in my network? Because that'll save you a lot of time by utilizing people that already trust you, who may be able to give you some work, whether it's in real estate, construction, if you know people at a utility or power plant, something like that. How to transition into photogrammetry and sensor-based inspections, mapping, modeling on a time and money budget. Everybody loves that time and money budget question. I would get a used Phantom 4 Pro for a little under $1,000, probably, I think, on eBay. I would get that. I would start networking with a bunch of engineering companies or architects and surveyors and say, hey, listen, I got this drone. I guess, they could get a drone too if they wanted to, but a lot of them don't know how to use it or don't want to bother with it. Say, hey, I'd love, anytime you do a next survey, I'll come out and do it for free. I'll gather the data for you. I'll process it for you. See how you can use it, right? If you do that and then they like it, maybe they'll use it on the next one. Or you take that and you go to construction companies and you go say, hey, can I show you what this drone can do? It's really cool. Again, if you join the course, I'm not sure if you are or not in the course, but we go through and say, hey, here's all the things the drones can be used for in construction. So when you're talking to someone, here are all the things you can talk about. So you can go talk to them and say, hey, look, here's all the stuff the drone can do for you. Let me throw it up real quick and get some data and I'll show you how it works. They'll be like, oh, that's cool. Or they'll be like, hey, get off my property. Either one. And so you can do that and show it to them and say, hey, this is cool. If you want, I can, do progress photos, or I can create this same map where you can track your inventory every week, right? So I would get out there as much as you can to talk to real people in that industry, but I would get a used Phantom 4 Pro. What do I think about the new remote ID thing that's about to come? It's kind of a hassle, but the way I view it is, if we really want drones to be integrated safely and efficiently into the airspace, right? If we want drone deliveries, if we want all that stuff that people talk about, that's really cool. You got to figure out a way to have accountability. You got to figure out a way to not have airplanes and drones hit each other, especially if they're doing fully autonomous flight. There's a lot of challenges to overcome. So I don't think there's ever going to be a great solution that everyone's going to love, because they're going to be like, well, I don't want anyone to know where my drone is. And I get that. I get that people don't want their stuff tied to them. But when you're trying to solve a national scale issue of how do you get drones to do all these things that we want people to be able to do, there's never going to be a solution that everyone's just in love with. So I say it's not perfect, but I feel like you need something. Again, I'm probably not the best person to talk to about this, but it's kind of just like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. It's got a long time to phase in for people who own existing drones anyways. So I guess we'll just have to deal with it as it comes out. Here we go. Should I focus on learning editing and color correction or getting my Part 107 first? I don't know. I say do them at the same time. To be honest, Part 107 doesn't take that long if you have a good program. Obviously, I'm super biased because we have this, but we have literally a guide or program. It's called 7 Days to Certified. If you go to 7daystocertified.com, like the number 7 days, certified.com, it's a free PDF you can download. It gives you a study guide that says, hey, study for about an hour a day for 7 days. And on the 7th day, you could register to have your exam on the 7th day, and you should pass if you do everything that, like the studying that we show you. So I might just dedicate an hour a day for 7 days and knock out my Part 107, and then you can do any job you want. So you can practice on paid jobs or other jobs, and you'll be good to go. You don't have to worry about it. But I'm always for continuing to learn and improve everything you can. So that would be my advice there. All right, let's see. Let's go back over here. What makes me most fearful is the question, how do I set my pricing? How do I calculate a fair price? Everybody loves the pricing question. If you quote someone a price and they say no, you realize there are like billions of people in the world and hundreds of millions of people in the United States and millions of businesses. So if you give pricing out and one person says no, that's not like the end of your business. The best way to do pricing is to test out different pricing strategies. Now, I can tell you some of the pricing that people give in different areas of the country for different jobs. Over here, Root for ongoing progress update photos will charge. See, look at this. Sorry, I'm changing topics here. Dave said, study for 6 days, pass 107 first try. Nice job, David. Anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a month for progress photos, going out there twice a week. You go mapping, it adds on a little more of that. I think Root says just to collect the data and deliver it to them with the progress photos, he's charging $1,400 a month, I believe. It's nothing astronomical. Then you got people in New England. There's a guy, Fred Light, on our podcast. He does for floor plans, photos, videos, and some aerials. I think he charges $800 a pop. Got Dominic Wilkerson out in Washington. He does similar. He does like 3D tours photos, videos for real estate. I think for that package, he charges $1,200. And then you got people in like Lexington, Kentucky, like Jeremiah Oswald, Beer House Media, for a drone, for a video walkthrough and drone, probably like 2 minutes or so. For a house, he'll charge $200, like really, but he cranks tons of those out, right? So, so that's the lower end. Bigger cities, you could probably charge $300 for a real estate video. So those are some pricing guides. And then when you get into like thermal inspections, where you have to have these $30,000 drones and level 1 thermographer, and you're creating reports that could potentially be used in insurance litigation. I mean, that is like a whole new ballgame. And that's thousands of dollars, $2,000, $3,000, depending on the size of the roof or the size of the building. So yeah, it just everything depends on your location and how good you are. And how much the person thinks you can then crank it out. So, all right. I hope that helps. I think this person said they're going to be on YouTube. So if that was your question and you're still on here, there you go. It says fear of failure stops most people. Someone's telling me that, but I agree. I think that does stop a lot of people. How can people find one step that will allow them to get started? I think getting good at something, especially on the creative side or even on the technical side, and going out and practicing that skill and just doing it by yourself. Do it because you enjoy it. That's the thing. If you're doing it because you feel like you need to make money with it and that you need to impress someone, that's like you put pressure on yourself and then you feel like quitting. You know what I mean? But if you're like, I just enjoy this, I'm just going to do it for me. Honestly, this is one thing that keep going back to Kevin Olson, Maryland drone guy, on his podcast. He's like, listen, I wasn't even trying to make money from this. I just did it because I liked it. I put it out there because I enjoyed it. I did it for myself. I didn't put pressure on myself. And people came out and wanted to start buying stuff from me, wanted me to start doing jobs. So I think if you're doing it because you enjoy, I think it's neat. I think it's cool getting this data. I think it's really fun taking this raw footage and turning it into a beautiful video. Do it for you, right? So that you are doing it for you, and then just publish it. Don't be afraid of what people say. I'm just doing this for me. You can just be transparent. Hey, I'm just trying to get better. Here's what I have. Give me feedback. And if someone says something mean about it, now, if it's good constructive criticism, you could listen to it and say, hey, thanks for the feedback. If someone's just like a troll, being like, oh, this video sucks. Honestly, those people are usually insecure about their own abilities and they take it out. I'm not like a therapist, right? But what they say, hurt people hurt people. So if someone's being nasty, tell yourself, listen, it's probably not me. They're probably having a bad day. Maybe they got fired from their job and now they just want to yell at somebody on the internet. Everybody's brave on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I would just delete it, get that out of your mind best you can, and just move on. Do it for you. And the more you do that, the better you get, the more satisfaction I think you get from it, the more fun you have, and then you'll start making money from it. What drone brand do I recommend for commercial startup? DJI. Just use DJI. Some people don't like it, and that's fine. If you don't like it, you can find another one like Autel. But everybody I know that does this seriously uses DJI. They just make the best ones, in my opinion. So sorry if you don't like that answer, but that's it. What type of insurance? I really like Skywatch. They offer they just have a lot of options. And again, I'm not saying that. I'm not getting anything from saying that. I think we're technically an affiliate, but I don't even put their affiliate link anywhere. So I don't even get anything if you sign up for Skywatch. I don't care. Use what you want. I personally use Skywatch. I like Skywatch because you can do on-demand drone insurance. You can do a monthly policy. You can do, let's say you only work in the summer, you don't want to work in the winter. You can have your policy active for the summer and then not pay for it in the winter. You can insure the actual hull, like the physical drone and liability. They're just like so flexible, so many options. They specialize in drone insurance. Their customer service is really good. Call them and say, here's what I need for my client. They'll get it done for you. They're fantastic. Everything I've dealt with them is great. And they volunteered to teach our course on drone insurance, that section. So I got a lot of love for Skywatch. So I would always recommend them, and I've used them personally. I've always had a great experience. Their app is super easy. If you upload your flight logs to their app, it actually will give you discounts based on how safe you fly, so you can save money that way. It's cool. Yeah, exactly. Keyboard gangsters talk tough on the internet. Yeah, people won't say that stuff to your face most of the time. So Barb Aruba. Look at that. All right, sweet. Hey, don't be disappointed. We'll throw a replay tomorrow for the most of it. What does insurance cover? First time I heard about it. Drone insurance covered. So you can get liability insurance. So you take your drone. Let's say you're flying on a construction site. They're like, hey, get some sweet video of the crane lifting up this whatever. You're flying around the crane, and you're kind of you get a little loose on the sticks, and you hit somebody, and they drop a bunch of bricks off the edge, and the brick hits Timmy in the foot and breaks his toe, and also shatters a bunch of glass over on the side. Now you've just caused damage for that construction site that you're liable for. Bad place to be. So if you have liability insurance, that's when that kicks in, and that insurance would cover the medical bills of that person. And again, I'm not an insurance agent, so you can double check this, but it'll cover the liability, the bodily damage, and the damage to the glass or the property, things like that. And then if you get, it's called hull insurance, is if you crash your drone, if you take your drone, let's say you get one of those $40,000 drones, and you fly it into a wall and you wreck the whole thing. There's usually some type of deductible, 10, 12%. And then they'll replace the drone for you. So it's a $40,000 drone. Maybe you pay $4,000 and they cover the other 36,000, cool. Hey, all right. Thanks, guy. Signed up. Appreciate that. I'm looking forward to having you in there. Yeah, I'm hanging tough, man. It's 10:15. These things always go real long, but I enjoy them. I like talking to everybody and helping out. All right, feel free to keep sending in your questions. I'm gonna go back over to the list here. Can we take a class to improve our flying skills? This was someone that was joining on YouTube. Yes, you can. I would recommend signing up for Drones 101 for the. I heard someone say this one time. I thought it was funny. The princely sum of $1. I think you can use the promo code podcast, even though we're not on the podcast, but that should work. Podcast. $1. Drones 101 will improve your flying skills and make you a better drone pilot. And if you want to learn how to do a lot of the cinematography and cool stuff, you can take aerial video A to Z, or just go practice with your drone. That also helps too. Would you recommend having in the fleet of drones also a Mavic Pro? Well, first off, having a fleet sounds pretty dope. Mavic Pro. Maybe Mavic Pro is kind of old at this point. Maybe they're talking about Mavic 2 Pro. I guess it just depends on what you want to do. If you're only doing mapping and inspection work, I would just get a Phantom 4 Pro, not a Mavic 2 Pro or a Mavic Pro. But if you're doing, if you're traveling and you're doing like, filming for commercials or real estate, something like that, Mavic 2 Pro is a great choice. Honestly, if you're doing that work, this little Mavic Air 2 is a great choice. This one's like almost like half the price. And it takes great video, especially if you're not like filming for a TV show or something. You're just doing like real estate or general cinematography stuff. That's a super good starter drone. Great colors, good resolution, in my opinion at least. But what do I know? All right, Mark. Thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate it. Have a good one. How old am I? Man, coming out with the personal questions. I don't care. I'll tell you. I think I'm 32 at this point. So I'll be 33 later this year. Getting old. Let's see. Yes, Skywatch was it's skywatch.ai. That are the folks that I really enjoy and like. Skywatch.ai. All right. You guys keep throwing something. 76 people hanging on here, clinging to life somehow. But I'm going to hang on until there's less of you on here. What are some good ways to kids? Yeah, all right, kids. People said I have a young face, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a bald spot over here. My wife was telling me the other day, she's like, man, you're going to start to lose your hair. I was like, oh boy, it's great. It's probably all that Voss water. All right. What are some good ways to properly introduce yourself when contacting your first potential client? A lot of questions here. How would you go about on pricing rates? What's a good starting base price for when you're starting out? What are some ways to market yourself? Tips on retaining clients. What should you focus on learning first? This person just needs to join the course. I'll try to get to as many of them I can. Good ways to introduce yourself when contacting first potential client. I mean, hey, hi, I'm David Young. I mean, it depends the situation you're in. If you just see someone on the street and they're like, a lot of times I ask what you do. I would have a good elevator pitch down, like a 10-second elevator pitch and like a 30-second and a 2-minute. Again, we talk about this in the course, but say, hey, I'm David. I work with X companies to do X, solve X problem. Oh yeah, I know. I collect aerial data for construction companies so they can make sure that their buildings are lining up and they don't have to do rework. Or I work with realtors to help them with their marketing, create videos for them, lifestyle videos, listing videos, help them get more listings and sell their houses faster, something like that. So that's how I would introduce myself. Something non-cheesy and quick to say if someone asks you what you do. But I would try to not talk too much about yourself, because the thing is, in reality, people don't want to hear about you. They want to talk about themselves. So you just ask them questions about, oh, what do you do? Oh, cool. How long have you been doing that for? Oh, do you enjoy it? Oh, what's your favorite part about doing that? The more you ask them questions about themselves and they talk, they think, oh, wow, this person's really cool. They're really into what I do. And they'll like you more and they'll hire you. Again, teach some of that stuff in the course. Those are my questions. And he did join. Sorry, LaTroy. You know what? You asked some great questions. And sorry to call you out like that on the live stream. But you'll learn a lot of this course. But that's what I would do. But I'm glad that you're interested. Phil, did I get this sunglass tan from fishing in Florida? Well, Phil, I only have this raccoon eyes from the structure of my face. I don't even wear sunglasses, but I have these kind of like sunken eyes a little bit. I got big bones here and my eyebrows. So when the sun comes down, it just hits me right here. So I actually did go out on I have a little John boat, and I live next to a lake, and I got a bunch of kids. Well, I got three little kids. And so we went tubing. I pulled them on the tube with my John boat on Friday, and I went to the pool with them on Saturday. So that's how I got some of this little sun you're seeing here. I did not wear a hat, so no sunglasses, just my prominent, I don't even know what you call eyebrow bones. Anyways, but that's it. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I got your question. And if you have more questions, LaTroy, feel free to, get on that live call, ask away, or I'm happy to, once you go through the course, if your questions still aren't answered, let me know. And then maybe we can add more content to the course, or I'll make sure you get your stuff answered. Oh boy, this looks technical. I don't even know if I can answer this. Let's see. I have an Autel Evo 26K, a Mavic Air 2, 3DR X8, a Pixhawk Hex. I don't even know what those are. Pixhawk X8. Which would be best for mapping? You know what? You have I don't know what the word is. You've trumped me. I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm familiar with some of those drones, not the Pixhawk ones. I haven't used those. But I would say, if any of those have a mechanical shutter and a 1-inch sensor or larger, use that one for mapping. I can say that with certainty. So hopefully that helps, Rich. And if not, I can float this by guys like Root and Jeff and some of the other people who know more about the technical specs. Because here's the thing. I can't be an expert in real estate, mapping, thermal, roof inspections, starting business, all of this stuff. I'm focused on the company, the platform, and then finding the right experts to plug in and teach you guys so they all know exactly what they're talking about in their areas. So hopefully that makes sense. I wish I knew. I do like learning all this stuff. Oh, Evo 2K has mechanical shutter. Well then, by golly, I think that would be my best bet then. The one with the biggest sensor again. Yep, biggest sensor, mechanical shutter. Live calls. I try to stagger them. So I do some, because I know we got people on the East Coast, some people on the West Coast. So I try to do some no earlier than like 10 or 11 a.m. And then sometimes I'll do them for like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. so that the people on the West Coast can jump on. And they're all recorded and they'll be uploaded to the course afterwards. So if you miss them, you can rewatch the live calls that we do for the course students. So I'll put out a schedule for them. Um, we don't offer courses for search and rescue. I've thought about at least partnering with another. There's other companies that put like in-person courses on for search and rescue and public safety. We've tried to kind of narrow in on specific business uses, and search and rescue kind of falls more under public safety. And there's a lot of agencies out there that already do this well, and a lot of them offer it for free, at least to agencies, or low cost in-person stuff, or maybe it's not low cost. I haven't looked at it in a while. So we've thought about partnering with them, but we don't have any courses on that. But stories, I did interview a guy on, I thought about starting a public safety podcast, and I recorded one episode. I don't think I ever released it. It's a really interesting one. A kayaker went missing. It was really cold. He was kayaking down this river. They lost him, couldn't find him. It was dark. So I sent out some search and rescue teams. They said normally we would be like kind of like trying to comb the river, and it was very thick, like on either side of the river, a lot of like thick brush and trees. And he said, yeah, we had a Motrice with a thermal camera on it, which again, that's expensive setup, but they had it. And he said, we literally got on this bridge, we threw it in the air, did a quick scan with a thermal camera, saw a heat signature right there. We could see our team walking in and literally could radio them in. Up to the right, to the left, nope, down there. Okay, hold your hand up. He's right there. And they said within 10 minutes, I think it was 10 minutes or less, they found the kayaker, pulled him out, saved him. So stories like that are pretty cool, I think, and really make drones fun. And you're like, oh man, I'm glad drones exist. He said otherwise it would take them forever if they would have even found them, you know? And again, and they can deploy helicopters and planes. I think maybe the helicopter wasn't available, but helicopters are super expensive to take out, and so are airplanes too. The gas is expensive. You got pilots. They have to go from the airport to the location. Whereas with a drone, you pull up to where you want to be, you go to the back, pop it out, throw it in the air. I mean, it's pretty fast. So, Root is on here. All right, guys. This is Root Patel extraordinaire. He's the guy I just filmed with today, who's doing the mapping stuff. He says Pixhawk X8 with Sony mapping camera is a great mapping platform. And that was here, Pixhawk X8. So Root has come through with your answer already on the live call. So hopefully that answers your question if you're still watching. But Troy, that would be huge for people who get lost in it. Yeah. And again, but you got to be within a range to pick up on the thermal sensor. Again, I'm not a thermographer, so I don't know. That would be more of like a Jeff question. But yeah, so. All right, I'm going to try to hang with you guys for another 3 minutes, and at 10:30, I might just shut it down because I got to go to bed. I've been up since early this morning. Started business in 2019. I have an FAA certification, 2 drones, Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Mini. I have no idea where to go from here. I've created a website. I've done some generic advertising on Facebook and at realtors' offices, but very little business. Any thoughts on what I can do to become successful with this, or was this a stupid idea? Thanks. I'll even pay you for specific ideas for me to work with me on this. But I'll see you tonight anyways. I'm not sure who this was. If you're on here, let me know. Here's what I would say. This sounds like a little bit of the case of I went out there, I tried a little bit, I got some no's, and now I feel like quitting. Kind of what I talked about earlier. First things first, don't get discouraged and feel like you're going to quit because it was a stupid idea. Not. Remember our triangle. Only a certain number of people are going to be ready to buy from you. So don't get discouraged. The fact that you say dumb generic advertising on Facebook sounds like you didn't have a plan. And again, I'm not saying it's your fault, but this is what happens with people typically. Google's like, hey, advertise with us, throw an ad up. Google doesn't care about you making money. Google only cares about you spending money on their advertising. And if they can get you to do that, they're happy. They don't care if you make money or not. I care if you make money or not. So you would need a little bit more of a plan on Facebook, exactly who you're targeting, what your message is going to be, what your call to action is, right? If you're just like boosting a random post, probably not a lot is going to happen with that. That needs to be a little more intentional. So what I would do, whoever this is, if you had a Mavic 2 Pro and a DJI Mini, I would pick a niche. So I would say, cool, I'm going to go all in on real estate. Sounds like you tried some realtors' offices. What I would do if I was going to focus on real estate, again, one thing we teach in the course, I'm giving you some free things that we charge for in the course, but is I would go sign up for my local association of realtors. You can pay, I think it's $200 usually, give or take. Then you say, they love to give trainings for realtors. You go to them and you say, hey, I'm a drone pilot. I know a lot of real estate agents want to use drones. Can I teach a course to teach real estate agents how to use drones legally for real estate? Now you think, David, why would I want to teach real estate agents how to do this? They're going to become my competition. Because once you explain to them all that's involved in doing this, they're not going to want to go do it, because you have to get your Part 107 license. You have to know how to check the airspace. You're going to explain to them. So you're going to be teaching them, but at the same time, you're explaining to them why they don't want to be the one doing it. But, some of them, if you just put yourself out there as a resource, some of them may do it. But now they think of you. I've heard of people saying they did a class like that. They taught the realtor. The realtor went out, said they were going to do it on their own, started to do it, realized, I don't want to bother with this. This guy's better than me anyways. Now, guess what? You're the expert in their mind, and they go to you. Now you're top of mind and you have findability. They go to you and then they hire you. I've heard of that happening. So I would go and I would teach a class on drone rules for real estate. So I talk about the Part 107 license, or the test, what it covers, the rules, some of the penalties, all that stuff. So we cover that in the course. You can give them a little drone demo. I've never heard of a time when someone gave that presentation the way we teach it and did not walk away with some real estate clients. So that's what I would do. And once you get one client and they write you a check, it's a pretty good feeling, gives you some energy to keep going and go get the next one. So that's what I would do. How do I know if I have the right drone and the right software for the job? Well, I don't know what job you're talking about, but we have covered a lot of that, I think, on this training. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. All right. I think that's all I'm going to cover for now. It's 10:30. It is getting late. Remember, if you want to join for that, the $500 off, the half off deal, that's good for another hour and a half, and then the promo code will go away. So feel free to do that. It's the link is in the chat here. If you want it again, I would say speak now or forever hold your peace, because I don't know how far I can scroll back in here and find it. I know Audrey can post it in here again if you need it. Audrey, if you're still awake, maybe post it again for people so they can grab it before we're done. But yeah, appreciate everyone who's already jumped in the course. I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone to jump in and launch some drone businesses, make some money, have some success, hopefully get some clarity on what they need to do in order to be successful. So here to help. Hope you guys all have a great night. Oh, Audrey, look at that. She's coming in clutch. So I'll give you guys like a minute or two to grab that. There's the link. Steve, thanks for coming. Troy, thank you. Appreciate it. Natalie, thanks. Gary, thanks. Had a lot of fun hanging with you guys and gals. And hope you guys have a wonderful night. Get some rest. Nicola, thank you. Zach, thank you. Yeah, I love doing these. Thank you. Cool. Enjoyed the live stream. Thanks, Aaron. All the good info. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I enjoy it. Enjoy helping people with what I know, at least, and sharing what I've learned from our smart instructors. And I'm gonna try to do these more often. But thanks again. And again, so if you want to navigate to the Drone to 1K course, it's just live, half off, all one word, in case you somehow don't grab the link again. So, all right, everyone, have a great night. Take care. Time to go to bed. Replay tomorrow, or at least the teaching part of the replay. The discount part will be cut out. But thanks again. Take care. Have a good one.